Welcome back, True Seeker. November 5th, 2024, the day of the selection. These are not elections, they are selections. And I think we might have seen enough clues to see who's going to come out on top. And it might be a late finish in terms of when they call it, it might be a thriller, it might go into overtime. But the clues last night point more towards the orange guy rather than the lady. For all of you who are hoping it's the lady, there is still a chance there. But again, the things we've been talking about for years, they played in a big old way last night. If you were watching the rig sports games, again, rig sports, rig selections, all controlled by the same Masonic Jesuit cabal. And all of you who are denying it in 2024, it's either you suffer from serious cognitive dissonance or you haven't been listening to the right voices. Because again, it is all rigged and scripted, and you can see it if you just pay attention day after day. For years, we've been saying Trump will likely return and become the nation's second Grover Cleveland, meaning a split-term president. And that was foretold by him having his convention in 2016 in Cleveland, right after LeBron won the finals on the real King James's birthday, June 19th, 2016. Again, the real King James was killed at age 58. And Prince went on to win, or not Prince, excuse me. Prince matters too. But Trump went on to win the 58th U.S. presidential selection after announcing from the 58-story Trump Tower. And of course, Prince was killed that year after his girlfriend died the day of the 58th Grammys. That was Vanity. Of course, he did that album Purple Rain. He had the song Black Donald Trump. Purple Rain has that Gematria 58. We just talked about how the Sunday night football game with the Vikings hosting the Colts was no doubt a tribute to Prince, who performed In the Rain, playing Purple Rain in Super Bowl 41, the only halftime show where it ever rained. But we knew that Monday or Sunday night football game was about Prince from Minnesota, connected to the Colts. Jim Irsay bought his guitar after he died. Look what happens the very next day. Prince's sister dies. I covered that earlier this morning on Gematria Effect News 25. This stream is going out to Gematria Effect News 25 and Gematria Effect Sports, as well as my Twitter account. If you guys are not subscribed to Gematria Effect News 25 on YouTube, that's where I put out the majority of my content. But yeah, let's talk about what they did last night with the two teams that were playing the Bucs. Again, in the NBA, you had Cleveland playing the Bucs. And in the NFL on Monday Night Football, you had the guy from White House, Texas, playing the Bucs. And both teams became 8-0 versus the Bucs. We're going to get to why that matters. But we're going to start with the basketball team, whose star players number 45, Donovan Mitchell, came over from the Jazz, who got the big upset last night like we liked, torched the NBA last night, torched the NFL. Again, understanding these things are rigged is lucrative. As our friend Mark said here, Mark learned from yours truly long ago. He uses his own mind. He decodes the games. And just like a lot of people, change their life after understanding the system's rigged. All of you guys who want to deny that the system's rigged, you're only hurting yourself. Cognitive dissonance doesn't really do any services to yourself. The games are rigged. The elections are rigged. When you participate in these things, you become part of something that is evil. And that's what we're doing over here, exposing evil. And we're going to talk about just how evil the ritual is, because it truly is. So the Cavs. Let's start here with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, 2016. LeBron wins on the real King James's birthday, and no one got the joke, because in history, King James's son was King Charles, and those who fought for King Charles in the English Civil War were Cavaliers. But now LeBron's not there, and Donovan Mitchell, number 45, is. Notice LeBron, who endorsed Kamala, lost last night. That was another story that we'll come back to. But the Cavs winning last night, the big story is this is their best start since 76, 48 years ago. Now, how many times have we talked about 48 with this rigged selection, Donald Trump, and Grover Cleveland? If you're not up to speed, about 1,000, maybe more than 1,000. So best start in 48 years. And why does it matter? Because you got to learn the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. And I get annoyed when people roll their eyes. Again, there's no reason to roll your eyes. This comes from Kabbalah, which is what Freemasonry is based in. And remind me, are all of the major American sports credited to Freemasons? Basketball, Naismith, Freemason. Baseball, Abner Doubleday, Freemason. Football, Walter Camp, Freemason. And as we'll get to, the word Freemason equals 48. Just like Illuminati equals 48. Remind me, did George Washington, the Freemason, the first recognized president, did he write a letter that's in the National Archive about his concerns about the Illuminati overtaking Freemasonry? You can look it up. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact. Oh, wow. Isn't that funny how it works? Illuminati 48, Freemason 48, Cleveland 48, Donald Trump 48. Anyway, best start in 48 years. And for all of you who want to see Kamala be the president, you know, she doesn't have to win today to become the first female president. All that has to happen is Joe Biden doesn't finish his term, and there's still a little more than a couple months. If Joe Biden doesn't finish, Kamala becomes the first female president. She becomes number 47, and then that would make Trump number 48. And don't kid yourself that it might unfold exactly that way, because again, Gerald Ford told us on October 18th, 1989, in the Herbert Hoover Library that someday there'll be an old man who will die, and that's how we'll get the first female president. He said the first female will not be elected. She'll become president when an old man dies. And again, he did that in the Herbert Hoover Library. Herbert Hoover died the same exact day that Kamala Harris was born, which was October 20th, 1964, meaning his remarks came 2 days before her 25th birthday, back when she was still 24 years old. And here we are in the 2024 year. And don't forget, Grover Cleveland was number 22, and he was number 24 because he had a split term. And who was president between those terms? Harrison. Just like how the other Harrison was the shortest term president in U.S. history, dying 1 month into their term. So Harris isn't too far off. But anyhow, best start in 48 years, and the last time they started 8-0 was 76. Just to remind you, Donald John Trump, 76. Who won the selection that year? Jimmy Carter. And Jimmy Carter said he was only living to cast a ballot for Kamala. He didn't say he was living to see her win. He was only living to cast a ballot. And if you saw the news, they wheeled him in on a dolly, looking like Weekend at Bernie's White House edition. And supposedly he cast a ballot, even though his mouth was wide open and it looked like he was full of embalming fluid. And I'm not joking. If you missed it, look up the news footage. The jokes are this sick. So anyhow, 76, that goes with Trump's full name, Donald John Trump. Goes with this nation, 1776. What year was the Illuminati founded? Oh, yeah, that's right, 1776, just a couple months before the American Revolution happened. These things are not an accident. So if you're new here, there are 4 base ciphers to the English language, and you got to know all 4. Been teaching it this way since 2016, the alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order, and both orders with numerology. There's 4 base ciphers. You learn them. You see through the rituals. So coming over to the football game last night where Mahomes won, who was Lock City. Again, we talked about all these games before they happened, all these rituals before they happened. I pointed out, before the whole NFL week began, how this whole week was about Donald Trump, with the Monday night football game being the 138th game of the NFL season, and Mahomes, the star of the league, with the same birthday as the NFL, September 17th, which is also the Constitution's birthday. Don't forget, the NFL was founded 133 years after the Constitution was born. Football equals 133, like president, like White House, like government. Like back in 2015 when Trump took the stage in the first GOP debate, they said Forbes has him ranked as the 133rd richest man in the nation. But anyway, this was the 138th game of the season, 48 days after Mahomes' birthday, who's from White House, Texas. Again, his mom came out and endorsed Trump before the game. But notice that the game went to overtime 24-24 right before the 2024 election, meaning there were 48 points in the game. And then the Chiefs with Kareem Hunt, who we thought was a lock to score a touchdown, won it. Kareem Hunt got his 62nd career touchdown. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 62. When you run it in reverse, Buccaneers is 62 as well, just like when they won Super Bowl 55. It was 62 days after the mayor's birthday, and it was the battle of the same two teams. It's also why we thought that the Chiefs might win by 5. They ended up winning by 6. We thought they might become plus 55 in point differential to pay tribute to that Super Bowl. Instead, they became plus 56, like the elections on the day, leaving 56 days left in the year. Anyway, it was a hunch. So if you took the Chiefs at -5, you won your bet. But yes, 138th game of the NFL season, 48 days after Mahomes' birthday, goes to overtime with 48 points. And again, think about it, you guys. The Cavs beat the Bucks last night in the NBA. The Chiefs beat the Bucks in the NFL, and they both became 8-0. And we're going to get to where 80 fits in with the Illuminati and Satan. Because again, Trump runs on MAGA, the highest degree of the Church of Satan. And once again, April 30th, 2011 was the 45th birthday of the Church of Satan. And where was Trump that day? Well, he was at the White House, where Obama was telling the joke about how Trump would become number 45. And he showed the graphic of the White House lit up like a casino with Trump in the hot tub in the front yard with a bunch of women in bikinis. And again, Obama took the White House in a Satan ritual. His first name, Barack, means lightning, like how Satan comes to earth in Luke 10:18, kind of like October 18th, same day that Gerald Ford foretold how we'll get the first female president. Day of the Event 201 scandemic simulation. But again, Satan, you think about Satan. How is Satan always depicted? With horns, like how bucks, as in the animals, like the basketball team, have horns. Again, we'll get to Baphomet, which is a horned creature, goat-like. We're going to talk about how this game was synced with Brady the goat, and they call Mahomes baby goat. And how literally synced this game was with Tom Brady, who's not even in the league. And every single year this season, they've paid tribute to Tom Brady, and every week with the games that he's officiating. Or not officiating, but commentating. Again, we'll talk about it here. He didn't call Monday Night Football. He called the Lions-Packers game where Brady finished the career 7-3 in Super Bowls with Tampa, Florida 73, and Goff got his 73rd regular season win over the Packers, which equals 73. But anyway, we're going to talk about what they did in this game, paying tribute to Brady in Super Bowl 55 that was undeniable. But look, it was, again, 48 days after Mahomes' birthday as it goes to OT 48 with 48 points. Again, his mom endorsed Trump before the game. We're going to talk about his mom's name, too. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. But again, Mahomes is from White House, Texas. White House, comma, TX, like you'd put it on an envelope, equals 60, like this is the 60th election. Remember, Donald Trump equals 60. 60 weeks into the Jesuitic Nation year was July 14th, 2022. The day he came out and said he'd run in the 60th election, and then later that day, his ex-wife fell down the stairs and died. Again, that was 45 years after his marriage to his wife, which happened the same year Brady was born, 77. But Patrick Mahomes' mother's name, her name, Randy Mahomes. That name, funny enough, equals 57. She did this ritual on the day leaving 57 days left in the year. Moon also equals 57, like Scottish Rite. Again, American football's credited to the Scottish Rite Freemason Walter Camp. The big way, Randy Mahomes equals 120. 120 is the 15th triangular number, like your son wears 15. Again, the Illuminati was founded on the first day of the 5th month, the 1st of May. Illuminati 120. Again, if you had 1 through 15, 120. How all this fits together. It's funny how people think like, oh, Illuminati, that's a conspiracy theory. It's like, how about open up a history book or look into what the first president of the United States wrote about his concerns about the Illuminati taking over Freemasonry, which was very important to the government since nearly every founder was in the club. You know, you got people like my sister who thinks Freemasonry is a conspiracy theory. It's like, why don't you just drive down the street? Don't even live that far from one of the lodges in Portland, Oregon. It's unbelievable, people's ignorance. My sister's surely going out to vote for Kamala today. She's really into the Kamala train. She just gets behind whatever they're putting out on NPR under total mind control. But you see how Trump's 25, like Tampa Bay's 25? Check out Patrick Mahomes' record, you guys. 97-25. Again, 97 is the 25th prime number. He also picked up his 25th win in prime time last night. It should remind you that right after Trump became president in 2017, we had the Super Bowl to conclude the 97th season where they moved the touchback to 25 yards, where Brady won on the 25-point comeback over the other 25 team, the Falcons. That game was on 2/5. Trump said he was cheering for the Patriots before the game. But yes, 97, the 25th prime. Bill Belichick equals 97. That's who won that 97th season. Again, his mom endorsed Trump right before the game. But in light of both teams becoming 8-0, Cleveland and the Chiefs, as Trump tries to become the next Grover Cleveland and commander-in-chief, again, they both became 8-0. Satan equals 80, like Baphomet, a horned figure that represents the Church of Satan. Again, mega is the highest degree of the Church of Satan. And if you run it the other way, Satan's 55, like how in Super Bowl 55, where Brady beat Mahomes, the only Super Bowl Mahomes has lost in. Remember, The Weeknd performed in that Super Bowl, and he came down out of the sky like a fallen angel with glowing red eyes. I mean, it couldn't have been any more satanic. Just so obvious, unless you're completely ignorant of all these things. And don't forget, The Weeknd literally flashes the word Satan on the billboard at his concerts. So they had him come down like a fallen angel, flashes Satan at the concerts. I mean, if you think all this stuff's a coincidence, I can't fix stupid, okay? I can't. I'm sorry. Now, remember, to the occult, Saturn, the sixth planet, represents Satan. Saturn, the sixth planet, like the whole 666, number of a man, number of the beast. But notice, last night, Mahomes became 9-3 on Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football equals 93, like Saturn equals 93. And the game last night was literally 93 days after Brady's birthday. Saturn has 7 rings. Brady picked up his 7th ring, beating Mahomes. Goat versus baby goat. Saturn, Satan, Satan the goat, the horned creature. The ritual with both Bucs teams. By the way, I didn't even mention that Milwaukee Bucks equals 48, which just adds to it even more, right? And I was saying how this stuff truly is evil. Let me bring up the base ciphers here. Milwaukee Bucks, 48 in the most pure, right? Cavs beat the Bucks last night to become 8-0. And did you see how many points the Bucks scored? President of the United States, 114. The Bucks lost with 114 points last night on 11/4. On the same day, they announced the death of Prince's sister, and it was announced by her son, whose name is President Nelson. But Minneapolis, Minnesota, 114. Just like how on Sunday Night Football, Joe Flacco stayed on 114 wins and picked up his 55th road loss in Minneapolis, which equals 55, like Satan. Very Catholic city. Again, the Catholic Church gave us the language and the calendar and is behind all these rituals through their order, the Jesuits, who are the ones that put the touches on the language. And again, it's the Jesuit priest, Christopher Clavius, who gave us the calendar that synced up all of these rituals. But don't forget, Order of Illuminati also equals 93. And the Illuminati is illuminated. And what illuminates the earth? The sun, which they say is 93 million miles away. But is it really? And again, all this 8-0 business like 80, Bavarian Illuminati is also 80, whereas Illuminati's 48. These rituals paying tribute to 48 and 8-0. Who founded the Illuminati? The Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, who created modern Freemasonry, the Jesuits. Again, the word Freemasons also 48. George Washington was worried the Illuminati was going to take over Freemasonry. Looks like it happened. And by the way, just using the basketball team too, Grover Cleveland was number 22 and he was number 24. And don't forget, we told you the ALCS Well, I mean, we had it all right about the baseball postseason again. Before it began, we said why it was going to be Dodgers over Yankees. Exactly what happened. We had the NLCS as Dodgers over Mets, beating the two New York teams en route to the championship. And we had Yankees versus Cleveland to pay tribute to Grover Cleveland and Trump from New York trying to become Grover Cleveland. And yes, I know Cleveland, Ohio is not named after Grover Cleveland, but you can see that I was right, that the ritual was just about him, because if you measure from Grover Cleveland's birthday to the day the ALCS ended, it was on what would have been the 216th day of his age, like Cleveland's the 216 area code, like how in 2016 when Cleveland won the finals, Game 6 was the last in Cleveland, and there were 216 points in that game. But the ALCS, again, ended on the day, leaving 73 days left in the year. ALCS 73, Grover Cleveland 73, Cleveland Guardians, the new name 73. The next day, the Dodgers closed out, Dodgers 72, and it was a tribute to, that was the day leaving 72 days left in the year, and the whole season was a tribute to Jackie Robinson, who died in 72. And again, it's the Jesuits who run all this. But again, scripted sports, scripted politics, and hey, let's not forget how the World Series ended. The draft dodger, Donald Trump, dodged a bullet, remember? He dodged a bullet. And then 109 days later, Los Angeles, as in the Dodgers, picked up their 109th win of the season, 109 days after the draft dodger joke. Yeah, he turned his head and missed the ball. Yeah, if he hadn't turned his head, he wouldn't have dodged it. Yeah, okay. If you couldn't see that was all theater, it's because there's not enough IQ points up here. You're not getting enough sleep. You're putting the wrong poisons in your body. It's why your mind's not working. That was such an obvious theatrical ritual, and that's why they got a Hollywood actor to go up and sell out the nation and lie to him every day like he's just reading off the script, which he is. But what do you mean? Sometimes he ad-libs. Yeah, he does, and it's not very good. He just sits there and says the word good and great a lot, and they're bad, and I'm great, and this is going to be the biggest and the best, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, who wants to listen to this shit? This nation must be effing retarded, and it is. But anyway, Los Angeles equals 109, like Yankees equals 109, like shooting equals 109. And here, again, unless you're, suffering from the United States of amnesia, I'm sure you remember that July 13th was the day of the big theatrics in Butler, which they synced up with the baseball games. We talked about that day. And then the next day, Butler hit 3 home runs out of the park. But the World Series ended the day before Halloween. And look, from the shooting to October 30th, 2024 was 109 days. Again, in 1963, in 1981, in 2024, presidents were shot in all 3 years. And what happened in the World Series? The Dodgers beat the Yankees. So this time, 109 days after the shooting, again, Yankees 109 like shooting, Los Angeles 109. Don't you get it? He dodged the bullet. The Dodgers win. It's all a big joke. It's all a big mockery of everybody who participates in this. And don't forget, the World Series yet again ended 138 days after Trump's birthday. Donald Trump, 138. And here, his birthday is June 14th. Let's just make sure that's true. June 14th is the day the World Series ended. 138 days. Just like how we had the ritual last night with the 138th game. Just like how I told you back in the year of the 115th World Series, the Nationals would beat the Astros 138 days after Trump's birthday with Juan Soto. This time Juan Soto loses, but that's what they did. 115th World Series. Remember, Trump went on the thank you tour when he took office with the 115th Congress, hired Steve Ray, the Nationals announcer, and then he won the World Series. Or the Nationals in D.C. won the 115th World Series in tribute to Trump, who took office with the 115th Congress. Nationals is 138, just like Dave Martinez, their manager. Get nothing but jokes. Dave Martinez also 57, like Nationals is 57, like World Series is 57. Every year it comes back to the same number. That year, the Astros picked up their 57th postseason loss, losing to the Nationals. This year, the Dodgers got their 57th all-time win in the World Series. Not series, but games in the World Series. They won it with their 57th win. And World Series also 147. Yankees had the best run differential this year, 147. World Series began 147 days after Dave Roberts' birthday when the Dodgers started the postseason with 147 losses. For all of you guys who really want to see Kamala win, listen, there's still a chance because there's these 2 things to think about. Kamala Devi Harris, 152. When the Dodgers won the World Series this year, they won it 152 days after Dave Roberts' birthday, and they stayed on 152 postseason losses all time. They started with 147. They lost 5 games in the whole postseason, now at 152. And last night, Andy Reid got his 152nd win with the Chiefs. And it's just like how when the Chiefs went to the White House this year, May 31st, 2024, that was the 152nd day of the leap year. And don't forget, there is that episode. There is that episode of The Simpsons, which came out March 19th, 2000, where Lisa Simpson becomes the first female president. That episode came out 152 days after Kamala's birthday. And again, like I said, Kamala doesn't have to win, though. She does not have to win the election. Biden just has to not finish his term, and there's still plenty of time. Slow Joe hasn't been looking too good, and I would see exactly how they would pay tribute to history. If Biden doesn't finish, Kamala becomes number 47. Remember, she spoke in Chicago at the DNC on the anniversary of Huey P. Newton dying at age 47. He's the famous Black Panther. The next most famous one's Fred Hampton, who was assassinated by the feds in Chicago. But again, Kamala's father, Donald J. Harris, was an associate of Huey P. Newton's, and they were part of a political activism group for Black Power before the Black Panthers were founded. And don't forget, they were founded in the season of the first Super Bowl, and that's why they always pay tribute to the Black Panthers, as we demonstrate year after year, as they've done again and again this year. You just saw Bryce Young win to become 3-17, like 317, the 66 prime, when the Panthers were founded in 66. But yeah, there's a reason that they're paying tribute to Trump and Kamala with the World Series in this last game of the NFL week before the election. There's a reason they're doing this. I mean, so again, is this how it's going to go? Is it going to be that they both get in there before Inauguration Day? Time will tell. Time will tell. But yeah, scripted sports, scripted politics, perfect rituals. Again, you just have to ask, like, how could it keep lining up? How many years do I need to be here explaining these same numbers with Trump and sports? I mean, we've been showing this stuff over and over and over, and here we are again. And the fact that every sports fan doesn't know that all of this is scripted theater is just, it's mind-numbing at this point. I mean, last year, Mahomes wins the 104th season, Super Bowl 58, when his first season as the starters for Kansas City. Again, he used to be a baseball guy like his dad. That first year as a starter in 2018, the Royals went 58-104. Last year, CNN writing, conspiracy theorists are saying the season synced with Taylor Swift. Okay, Swift 58. They go on to win Super Bowl 58. Her full name, Taylor Allison Swift, 104 for the 104th season. I mean, you think that's an accident? This mediocre talent who doesn't even deserve to be famous. I can go down to a coffee shop in Portland and walk past 5 coffee shops and probably find 5 better talents than Taylor Swift. How's she so famous? What great song does she have? What meaningful lyrics does she have? The answer to that is none. The only people who are listening to her music are the same people under mind control, the same people going to these rigged sports games, voting in these rigged selections who can't put 2 and 2 together, just doing whatever the authorities tell them, whatever the signals from the TV and the radio tell them to do. No independent thought of their own, just doing whatever they're told to do. Oh, yeah, I'm going to vote for that candidate. Oh, yeah, they are a great musician. They said so on the radio. NPR just talked this morning about how wonderful her music is. She has to name her song after viral video games just to get more sales. I mean, what a joke. That Fortnite song comes on the radio. Who wants to listen to that shit? God. Trash music, trash candidates, totally obvious rigged sports. Here, let's run through the other NBA games. We took a flamethrower to the NBA last night. No games today because they want you to go out and vote. Come to the rigged games, vote in the rigged selections. We're all about it. We're the National Basketball Association. Again, Bucks go down to the Cavs. Cavs become 4-0 at home, like 40 years ago was the re-election of Ronald Reagan, who ran on MAGA, the highest degree of the Church of Satan. President of the United States, 114. Bucks got to lose with 114. Warriors, Kamala City. Here's hope for the Kamala people. They became 6-1 in the capital city. And remember the whole January 6th thing, the insurrectionists. I mean, we told you back then when it happened that it was no accident, that it was 78 days after Kamala's birthday. Insurrection 78. We told you back then, way back then, before they'd even taken office, that when 2024 came around, it was going to be Kamala versus Trump when he's 78 years old. Not only is insurrection 78, insurrectionist, which they like to call him, is 78. Just like Cleveland 78, and there's 78 cards in the tarot deck, and the top cards are Trump cards. And just for the record, again, tarot cards is 119. The winner of this election takes office with the 119th Congress. But don't forget, we've had the rituals with Kamala on the 47th day of the year, with Radiohead putting out Lotus Flower 119 days after her birthday. Kamala means lotus flower. So, again, that's why they've made things a little bit cloudy, but these latest sports rituals seem to think that the initial thought that we've been talking about for years of Trump coming back and being the next Grover Cleveland. Again, Grover Cleveland was overweight. Grover Cleveland had a mail-order bride. A lot of parallels with the two. But, yeah, anyway, Warriors become 6-1 in Washington, D.C., as we imagined. And remember, they used to be in Philadelphia, the other 61-6 the other 61 city, the other capital. So no surprises there. The Lakers fall to 3-5 versus the Pistons. King James, you guys, King James 35. We thought this upset was possible. Notice the 1-3 in the home and away records. Lakers fall to 1-3 away. Pistons become 1-3 in home. And the King James thing matters because remember the 5th of November. That phrase really comes from when the Jesuits tried to blow up King James on November 5th, 1605. All these, and again, you guys, the word assassin is 115. Remember, the assassination scare of July 13th was 115 days before the 11-5 election. Remember, the Iowa caucus was on January 15th, another 115 date, and Trump got 56% of the vote, which is a lot because there were several candidates in it. And it goes with him taking office with the 115th Congress. And it also goes back to 1988 when he was on Oprah on the 115th day of the year, and she asked him if he'd like to be president someday. And technically, it was a leap year. It was April 25th. If you go back, April 25th, 88, Oprah asked Trump if he'd like to be president someday. So in a leap year, it's the 116th day. So Trump was in office for the 115th and 116th Congress. That's how scripted it is, you guys. 1988. And don't forget, he won the 58th election. Oprah 58, Oprah Winfrey 58. Again, the real King James died at 58. Purple Rain 58. Prince and his girlfriend the day of the 58th Grammys, all part of the rituals leading up to Trump. And don't forget, Prince died 47 days before his birthday, too. Trump's 47. White House, government authority, president, they're all 47. So it's possible that they elect Trump as number 47, but then he actually becomes number 48 because Kamala becomes 47 because Biden doesn't finish, which is the Gerald Ford prophecy of October 18th, 1989, when 89 is the 24th prime. And we've seen so much 89-24 stuff this year. It's been impossible to keep it all straight. But it all started with Harbaugh getting his 89th win with Michigan to win the championship in 24, and then Mahomes getting the 24th playoff win for the Chiefs, which was the Super Bowl, which was his 89th career win at the time. 89th career win, 24th prime. And last night, coming 8-0, gave him the 97th win, as we talked about. But okay, coming back, Celtics and Hawks. Celtics get to 7-1. You remember what they did to Bill Walton the day that the Celtics advanced to the finals last year? Celtics 71. Bill Walton dead at 71. Finished his career at the Celtics. We told you before the season began last year, Boston Celtics 78, only full team name in the league. Most likely team to win the 78th NBA Finals that began on their 78th birthday. For the record, NBA Finals is 78 as well, since Cleveland, which also equals 78, did win those finals right before Trump had his convention there in 2016. Grizzlies and Nets. I remember not liking that game last night. I suggested if you played it to take the Nets with the points. They were a 5.5-point underdog on 5-date numerology. So if you did it that way, you came out on top. They got to 3-2 at home. Grizzlies is 131, the 32nd prime. Brooklyn, New York is 79, the 22nd prime. Grizzlies fell to 2-2 away. Favored the Kings to beat the Heat because they got the star player number 5, De'Aaron Fox. It was 5-date numerology. Kings became 4-3. Miami Heat 43. De'Aaron Fox, the big star number 5. Close game. We thought it was going to be close too. And Jazz, we thought the Jazz would get the first win of the season last night over the Bulls to make both teams 1-2 away, 1-2 at home. They were a big underdog last night, big old fat underdog, but Bulls love 12. Both teams 1-2 in the home and away, Bulls 12. And we were also looking ahead at how if the Bulls did drop the next two, they could fall to 3-5. So nice little W right there. Knicks and Rockets. I told people to be careful of this game last night. I thought days ago that the Knicks would end up becoming 4-2 on Puff Daddy's birthday, but then I got afraid of it last night because I saw how they could become 2-2 at home and away with the way the Rockets record lined up. And like I told people last night, that 22 plays hard with the Knicks. So that game was a little bit dangerous. And I did want to stick with the initial thought, but I warned people. I said, be real careful with that one. And New York equals 33 too as they fall to 3-3. Hornets and Timberwolves. Again, no surprise here. Timberwolves were a big favorite. Notice how they won with 114, you guys, on 11/4. Again, Minneapolis, Minnesota, where they play, 114. And Prince's sister died, again, the day before on Sunday Night Football. Joe Flacco stayed on 114 wins in Minneapolis. President of the United States, 114. Prince sacrificed for Trump. In 2016, now his sister, the day before the election, one day after the Prince tribute game on Sunday Night Football, because again, he's connected to the Colts through the Super Bowl. And again, Colts became 4-1 or not the Colts, but Minnesota became 4-1 at home, beating the Colts. Again, Prince from Minnesota performed in Super Bowl 41, the only Super Bowl halftime show ever where it rained as he performed Purple Rain. And I keep telling you about weather control and how the first act of weather warfare was admitted to on the Jesuit order's birthday way back in 52. 52, people still don't know 72 years later. The 5-date numerology went hard in this game. We knew the Magic would likely pick up the 5th loss and 5th road loss as well. Thunder been on fire. Remember, the Thunder used to be the Seattle team. Seattle won the 1979 NBA championship. This is the 79th NBA season. Remember, LeBron Raymond James, his full name is 79. The opening night of the 79th season, he stayed on 79 home losses with the Lakers and picked up his 205th win with the Lakers. First father-son duo since the Griffies up in Seattle who were at the game. And then while they were at the game and the Lakers were about to close it out, they announced that Fernando Valenzuela had died. 79, because it's that ice cold. The Cy Young winner. And then the next day it's Rudy May's dead, and Fernando and Rudy May pitched against each other in Game 3 of the 81 World Series, where the Dodgers also beat the Yankees, as the Dodgers got out to a 3-0 lead in the series, which we hit all first of the 3 games for the Dodgers, going up 3-0. The Blazers were a big payout last night to upset the Pelicans, and like I told people, that 5-date numerology gave them a real shot. I said if 5 was playing well in the earlier games, which it did, ride the Blazers to upset the Pelicans, and man, they smoked them too. The big dog Blazers from my hometown, 3-5. And again, this is about King James, you guys, because again, we're on the eve of the anniversary of the attempted assassination of King James. See how they do it? Both teams 3-5. And Pelicans is also 79. So is New Orleans Pelicans, which is the 22nd prime. Both teams 2-2 in the away and home, not to mention basketball is 22. Pacers Mavs was the game that bucked the 5 trend, and that was disappointing. It's probably the game we were the most wrong about, but there was a warning there. There was a warning that the Pacers could get it done because they became 3-4 and Indiana's 34, but I was leaning more towards that 5-2 for the Mavs since the date numerology was 5. And again, this is why you use the knowledge. You never bet more than you can afford to lose. You stuck everything we had in basketball in a round robin last night. You smoked and got a great payout. You put it all in a parlay. You got $0 because you put too many teams on there in the ticket. But again, you play smart with this knowledge. It is hard to lose. And the Nuggets and the Raptors, I suggest to take the Raptors with the points here. They were a big dog too. They had a chance to upset if you took them with the points. You got it done. That their chance to upset was also through the 5-date numerology and becoming 3-5. Raptors do have the 35 connection. You took them with the points. You came out on top. Suns look good to beat the 76ers. They became 6-1. We told you earlier, Philadelphia equals 61 like Washington, D.C., and that's how old Charles Barkley is right now, who played for both teams. Plus, 76ers have the 15 connection. Suns got it done. Close game. And Clippers and Spurs, we were also favoring the Clippers here. They got it done. Spurs fall to 1-3, and the Clippers become 1-4 at home. LA 13-14. So again, right, wrong, right. I'll say that I was wrong about the Knicks-Rockets game. I did tell Pill to be very careful of that, but my initial thought from days earlier was wrong. It helped us get to the right place for the Knicks coming into this game, though. Jazz, right, with a big old payout. Kings, right. This game, Grizzlies and Nets, right. Celtics, top read, right. Pistons, Lakers. Again, we did mention the Pistons were definitely worth $1 parlay, but I was leaning a little bit more Lakers because of the 5-date numerology and the chance of them becoming 5-2 in light of LeBron being in the finals. But we knew Pistons were definitely worth a stab. We call it the dollar parlay. You take your favorite group of games, you throw $1 on it with the Pistons, you try to turn $1 into $50. Could have easily done that last night because we smoked the NFL. The props we like came in the NFL. Nearly every game in the NBA came in that we liked. We favored the Warriors. We favored the Cavs. I said that's a way to get value with the Cavs and the Chiefs last night. It looked like they were both going to become 8-0 in the Satan tribute. We talked about all this before the game. You put them together, there's some value created because they're both favorites. Like I said, put it with a Kareem Hunt touchdown because that's coming in. Kareem Hunt last night, 62nd career touchdown. It wasn't suspense, though. You had to wait till overtime. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 62. Buccaneers, 62. Rashad White scored. He's from Kansas City. DeAndre Hopkins last night. He ended up scoring 2 times, but in light of it being about Trump, we were like, it could make a lot of sense if he gets his 81st touchdown last night. And he did, and it was week 9, and 81 has a square root of 9, doesn't it? Because it's all mathematics, like they etch on the Masonic temple. All is number. And just in case you missed my video on Prince's sister, let's cover that too. And in case you missed the video on the Omega versus Kamala wrestling match days after Trump's 60th birthday, let's go back and cover that too. But again, before the Sunday games were played, we said that Sunday night football game was no doubt about Prince. Minneapolis had all the numbers to win. That's the Vikings, the Purple People Eaters. Prince, Mr. Purple Rain from Minnesota. And again, for anyone who doubts these things, it's like, now what are you going to say? The next day, Prince's sister's dead? I mean, come on, man. Joe Flacco, we were talking about him staying on 114 wins. Now Prince's sister's dead on 11-4. We've been talking about Prince in the election since 2016. Now his sister's dead the day before the election. Nelson's son, again, Prince Rogers Nelson. This is either Tyka or Tika Nelson. I'm not sure how you say her name. Not nearly as famous as her brother. But again, I mean, the son's name is President Nelson. President of the United States. One more. I mean, come on, you guys. Come on. And again, that Minnesota game last night. I mean, come on. You know what's crazy? Look at the score, 93-114. My God, man. Look at Minneapolis is the city on the 93rd Meridian. I mean, just look at it, you guys. 93-114. Like, you can't get more Minneapolis than that. And remember, the last time the Colts and the Vikings played was that crazy game on Saturnalia. It was the first game on Saturnalia with the record comeback. Oh, man, it's a joke. And there were 75 points in that game, just for the record. Minnesota Vikings, 75. Indianapolis Colts, 75. Probably the thing we were most wrong about over the weekend was Aaron Jones getting his 75th career touchdown, which I'm still a little bit shocked he didn't. I feel like they do that stuff to spite us. Like the spies are watching. They're like, okay, we can't let them hit everything. We got to make sure every single parlay doesn't come in this weekend. Scratch the Aaron Jones scripted touchdown. Who else can we put in there? Sometimes I feel like it is that way. Back in the day, that wouldn't have failed. Back in the day, that was coming in. So it was a lot easier back when Prince died, back when we called every future correctly in 2016. But, yeah, again, 34 points in the Prince tribute game. Prince 34 like purple, like fentanyl, like murder. Again, the old school color system for poison was purple. That's how they said they took out Prince, and now everybody's getting the fentanyl poisoning. Colts fell to 4-5. They used to be called the Colt 45s in the week of Donald Trump number 45. You saw how they burned up the Big Mac Bridge in Cincinnati after Trump's Big Mac ritual at McDonald's. And then the Bengals become 4-5. Again, these things are not an accident. This game was on the day, leaving 58 days left in the year. That's how we knew it was no doubt a Prince tribute, fitting in with the whole ritual of Prince dying the year that Trump won the 58th election. Purple Rain, Freemasonry, Rosicrucian, Secret Society. Again, the real King James was a Freemason and Rosicrucian. The real King James dropped dead at 58. 2016, Trump's selection year after he announced from the 58-story Trump Tower. Again, LeBron on the real King James's birthday, then Trump having his convention in that stadium, and then LeBron's putting out the show The Wall as Mr. Wall, gets called president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall 45. That was on November 9th. Now he's trying to take office with the 119th Congress. He has the old school ad talking to Digital Sheet for Serta mattresses, number 11 and 9. Yeah, Prince died 201 days before the selection. The only NFL teams with the 201 connection are the Vikings and the Colts. Big Jesuit numbers. Jesuits are the daddies of Freemasonry. Jim Irsay bought Prince's guitar after he died, the Colts owner, born on the day, leaving 201 days left in the year. Now the sister's dead in another Jesuit ritual. Jim Irsay's 65 right now as the sister goes. She was 64, thus in her 65th year of life. The sister's birthday is 18/5, the day Jim Brown died. Now, Jim Brown of Cleveland, his daughter comes out and endorses Trump right before this NFL week that was all about Trump. The son's name, President Nelson, who announced the death of his mom. 72 like President Trump, like President Biden. Flip it around, they're all 81. Kamala born on the day, leaving 72 days left in the year. Big Jesuit number, first Jesuit Pope on the 72nd day of the year. Her name does have the Kamala connection as well. Her name also has the Harris connection. Her name also has the Make America Great Again connection. And by the way, right before I started this stream, if you guys can look up, I know exactly what time they said it because I was watching it. It was 11:13 a.m. out here on the West Coast. That's 2:13 out on the East Coast. Check your time zones. But today, Fox News, 11:13 a.m., blurted out. They said right now the Dow's up 404 points, and that's a good sign for Donald Trump. The market must be feeling the return of Trump. Again, 11:13 a.m. West Coast time, out where I am. Exactly what was said on Fox News' live broadcast. The Dow's up 404 points, and that's a good sign for Trump. Look how Make America Great Again is 404, you guys. It's also 134, like Tika or Tyka Nelson. A lot of 134s with Trump over the years, including his mail-order bride, Melania, including his son who had the opposite 666 Avenue, Jared Kushner. There's other things that I've forgotten. There's been so many 134s with Trump over the years. But again, it's crazy how they're doing all these rituals that pay tribute to both of them. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's like when Trump went to the Vatican to give the Pope president on May 24, 2017, he gave the Pope a lotus flower. And Kamala means lotus flower. And remember, lotus flower equals 40. Whoops. Well, I did have it right, but let's write it better. Lotus flower, 49. Kamala Harris, 49. She's the 49th vice president. James Harris, the wrestler, who was Kamala, who died 2 days before she was the VP nominee, 49. Donald J. Trump, like how her father, Kamala's, is Donald J. Harris, but Trump, the way he writes his author name, Donald J. Trump, 49. Remember, big number in Washington, 49. Big number for America, 49. The Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Scottish 49. 49 is the 33rd composite number. The highest degree of the Scottish Rite's 33. It's all mathematically sound. The system they put together is so clever. It's so brilliant, and it's used by evil geniuses to rule over a populace of people that just aren't nearly as smart, who must have a tiny fraction of the IQ points because they can't see through these obvious rituals that are done every day that are just total mockery. Everything's just a coincidence. Like, oh, that's weird. Prince died right before the election, and now his sister does. Weird. Right after the Vikings and Colts game. Weird. The average person should see the parallels. Like, yeah, he did perform in that Super Bowl with the Colts. That was back before I knew Gematria, but I won a big contest at that Super Bowl. There was a whole bar full of people, and everybody had to put in if you want to be in the contest, you had to put in $20. and pick the score of the game. And out of the whole room of people, nobody got the score exact. I was only 1 point off on the score with the right winner. So I got a nice payday that day. I was hanging out at the right bar with the right contest. I was like, yeah, I'll take a stab at it. Let's see. Boom. Anyway, if only I knew Gematria, I might have got it dead on. But again, just the whole Omega versus Kamala, the wrestler. Again, in case you're not up on this, just to show you how planned out all this stuff is. This took place days after Trump's 60th birthday. Now it's the 60th election. It's 60-year-old Kamala, who started dating a 60-year-old Willie Brown back when she was in her 20s. And now she has Tim Walz, who supposedly is a football coach, but doesn't know that a pick six isn't a play. And supposedly he's 60, even though he literally looks like he's in his 70s. It's just so 60. And with regards to the Jesuits, don't forget their first decade with the Roman Catholic Church, their order was limited to 60 members. And the word order is 60. And holy is 60, and the Holy Bible 60, just like Donald Trump's 60. And he did that unholy ritual with his wife 60 weeks into the Jesuit Ignatian year. And then pretty soon he was selling a $60 Trump Bible. The satanic love to mock. It's crazy how many Christians are out there like, if you're a Christian, you gotta vote for Trump. It's like, God, it just shows you how, man, these are the spiritually sound people voting for Mr. Satan. I'm sure the spirituality is true and authentic since the people are so in tune with reality. They're here ready to vote for little Satan, thinking that if you're a Christian, you got to vote for Mr. Mega. Yeah. Where can I join you on Sunday to drink somebody's blood and eat their body? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you guys are going to go put on your Chiefs gear and cheer for Mahomes. Wow, these people are so on another level with their spirituality. And I'll tell you what, it's always been Christians trying to drag my name through the mud too, because I'm not part of their cult. Anyway, back to reality. Here's what happened right after Trump's 60th birthday. Synced up with Kamala's 42nd. Again, the match began June 25th, but it stopped, and then it got moved to Monday Night Raw on June 26th. Omega versus Kamala, again, spelled the same way as Kamala, the guy who died 2 days before she was made the VP nominee in a major ritual. But again, notice that match was 116 days before Kamala's birthday. Wrestling 116. Kamala 42. It was synced with her 42nd birthday. Again, Biden passed the torch to Kamala 42 months and a day after they took office. Kamala's mom died on the 42nd day of the year, February 11th, 2009, the Vatican's birthday, right after Obama became president. This election's 42 days before the Pope's birthday, December 17th, Saturnalia. Jesuit also 42, like slavery, like Tuskegee, like the N-word, like the million other 42 rituals coded on Black history, including Jackie, including Martin, including Malcolm X, including Muhammad Ali. But again, James Harris or Kamala, same surname, same gematria, same 49, like she's the 49th VP. He died 73 days after his birthday on 8-9. Harris, 73 forwards, 89 in reverse. He died exactly 42 days after Kamala's October 20th birthday. Don't forget she has the same birthday as Snoop Dogg. They did the pass the torch ritual. And then next thing you know, Snoop Dogg is carrying the torch at the Olympics. That's why they've done a lot of stuff for Kamala too. So for those of you guys who, for whatever reason, really want to see her win, if you're watching and thinking, oh my God, I want her to win. I don't know why you'd want either of them to win. They're both, again, it's like, whose blood sacrifices were you more favorable of? Well, is it okay that Kamala did her mom, the wrestler, Amani Joy, the little 1-year-old daughter of the 49er that we just covered the other day, Shavarius Ward, perfectly synced with Kamala and him. Again, we just covered that one the other day. If you missed that, Shavarius Ward, if I can spell his name. Yeah, it is. It's 166 and 212. Notice how Lotus Flower is 166, and notice how Kamala Harris is 212. Again, that ritual was 166 days after his birthday. And again, just the 212 overlap. I'm forgetting something. I know there's another piece, but Amani Joy's also 47, like she's running to be 47. So again, you got Trump, who did his ex-wife, his brother on the Jesuit order's birthday, his sister at the end of last year. There's been a number of other people too. But again, I mean, like, why would you ever want these people? These are evil people who will allow people to be blood sacrificed in their name. they'll go on before the nation and lie to him and tell them the story or not even the truth. I mean, Kamala should be out there like, listen, I'm really glad that when I was in my 20s, I chose to date Willie and worship his Willie and do good service to his Willie. And then she should name the other men, leading up to her Georgetown professor who got dumped by his ex-wife, divorced because he impregnated the nanny. Oh man, these must be quality people. Like if you have to end up with a man who impregnated the nanny in the last relationship, that kind of shows like the kind of level you are too with the relationships you've been in. No one else like, wait a minute, you got the nanny pregnant? Yeah, let's get married. Let's get married. Let's not forget when he spoke at the let's not forget that when he spoke at the DNC, he had to speak 54 days before his birthday, like how Georgetown, where he teaches, was established by 54-year-old John Carroll. It's all in the Jesuit family affair. 54 points last night in the football game, reminding you who runs it. Where did Vince Lombardi die? Oh, that's right. Unexpectedly at Jesuit Georgetown. What's Georgetown equal? 42 like Jesuit, right? Campus built by slaves, slavery 42, always baiting with the reparations. Slick Willie, Gavin Newsom, 42nd mayor of San Francisco, Jesuit educated, baiting with the reparations. And after, how long did he bait with the reparations before going, oh, never mind, we can't afford that? like that wasn't going to become the obvious conclusion. Sorry, we can't afford to make taxes 100% in California. We're almost there, but we did the calculations, and we'd have to take your whole paycheck. So, and then it's like, yeah, we want reparations so we can be total slaves to the state. Those are the kind of people that go out and vote. Can't do the math. Can't realize what they just signed up for, what they consented to. You remember when old Gavin, he said, I'm locking you down. Before he went to the French Laundry, like the Jesuits are from France. He's got now at the French Laundry where he's got you all locked down. But he said 56% will get the cooties in 8 weeks, which is 56 days. And then the real name of the cooties equals 56. And the real name of the cooties jab equals 56. And he had that other one. His opinions about what to do were blown in the wind like he was Bob Dylan. 1 mask, no mask, 2 masks, try a triple mask, try a 2 mask with a plastic thing over your face. 20 years earlier it was, oh yeah, I'm not a big advocate of shots. The best form of immunity is natural immunity. 20 years later, making big money on it. Get 100 boosters. Get them all. Get them all. Natural immunity, never heard of it. I'm invested now. I'm backing them all. The dope still haven't figured it out. Well, that was then. I mean, now there's a killer cooties out there. Didn't you hear some old people died in the nursing home in Seattle in the land of the world's biggest needle in Bill Gates' backyard? Yeah, 10 years after his prediction. I just watched his Netflix special that just came out the night before the news, too, about the next pandemic. I'm pretty sure it was a coincidence. Hey, is the football game on? They're not going to suspend the NFL, are they? I mean, this populist, dude. Brain dead. It's why I put out world-class videos, and then you see the likes after they've been there for a week, and they're like at 300. You're like, man, in this nation at 300-some million, there's only 300 likes on the video? Everybody else got butthurt and put their head back up their ass. Is it time for another booster? Is the game back on? I don't like this guy. I'd like watching Mahomes waddle around on the field, and the Zebras throw the terrible towels for him. It's almost like he's a Pittsburgh Steeler. Anyway. 33rd degree free Memeson. Great name. You're very welcome. Thank you for the tip. Thank you for the knowledge. King Richard TV. King Richard, are you balling these days or what, my man? I appreciate it, but dude, save that money. Save that money. Who's talking on Rock Superstar on Cypress Hill? Save your money. Save your money. Have you guys heard the lyrics of that song? You got to make the sacrifice. Like LeBron on the JJ Redick podcast. JJ says, how have you had such a long career? And LeBron says, you got to sacrifice your loved ones. JJ's like, what? Can you say that again? He's like, you must sacrifice your loved ones. Yeah. Same way to become the top of the leader of the land, like on the song Murder by Numbers by the Police. Jada Arnell Thomas from Dallas shot in a theater. Oh, boy. Think of Lincoln and JFK. Her name sums to 154. Ritual sacrifice, 154. She was 201 days after Lincoln died. Isn't it? Who is Jada Arnell Thomas, though? I don't know who this is. It's reminding me of Jada Pinkett Smith. Singer shot on stage in Dallas by audience member leading to one arrest. And again, they keep paying tribute to the JFK assassination. Again, it's just like how the Texans had to fall to 6-3, and then Atlanta became 6-3 versus Dallas. Again, the Chiefs moved to Kansas City from Dallas in 63. That whole NBA Finals was about it. World Series, the game leaving 63 days left in the year. The score was 4-11, like JFK shot from 411 Elm Street. So this is going on right before the election as well. Again, Oswald ran through the theater. Don't forget how Oswald's from New Orleans, and they paid a huge tribute to Oswald's assassination when the Saints wasted Dallas earlier this year. God. All right, good eyes, King Richard. I don't know how you keep eyes on everything like you do, but well done. King Richard, one of those great decoders, and just a young guy too. King Richard, take care of yourself and save your money. I appreciate it though. Grover Cleveland. Oh snap! Did I miss that Grover Cleveland equals 80? Huh. What's wrong with me? Yeah, no wonder. Wow. God, that's huge, and I almost missed it. I would have missed it without you. Man, no wonder they're doing this 8-0 business. God. Oh, both 48 rituals for the 8-0. Unbelievable. We knew they were going to do that last night. And it's definitely about this, too. But this is even more clear. My goodness. Wow. All right, we needed that one. Gematria is key. Should be paying you. Thank you. Narc, SBE. Trump equals Jesuit. But he's better than Kakmala. I don't know where the argument is that he's better. I really don't know where the argument is. I hear a lot of people trying to make that argument. Man, if he's just back in there, things will get better like when he was in there. It's like, did people forget what happened when he was in there? Because when he was in there, it was the least like the idea of America ever. There were lockdowns. There was total fascism where the government said you have to close your business, but big Walmart and Costco and Amazon can stay open. There was just, it was like a fascist police state. Curfews all over. Going over to Switzerland the day the cooties was confirmed here to gloat at the World Economic Forum about his trade deal with China. By the way, that was January 15th, another 115 date. And remember, his trade deal with China was signed off on January 15th, and then he was at the World Economic Forum to gloat about it on January 21st. January 15th is the day they say the first case of the cooties arrived in the U.S., first case outside of China in the whole world, in Bill Gates' big backyard with the big needle. And then January 21st is the day that case was in the news. And remember, you guys, that was the 222nd day of Trump's age. The name of the virus, Wuhan cooties virus, the real way is 222. And World Economic Forum, where he was that day, is 222. And event 201 was the simulation they put on, led by the Jesuit Klaus Schwab, 222. And that simulation was in New York, 222. And the pandemic was declared 222 months after 9/11. And the motto is order out of chaos. And Trump just happened to be there on his 222nd day of his age. So to say that this guy's better, I'd say that wrong. I'd say they're both god awful. I don't want to say that either's better, but I could argue that he's the very worst president the U.S. ever had, where the very worst, most un-American things ever happened. And again, you can go back and look at his transcript of gloating about his trade deal with China and how the world will never be the same again. Remember, the only two CDCs that participated in the simulation, event 201, was the CDC from China and the CDC from the U.S. This was all planned. He was a big part of it. And his ritual right there just showed you literally what a scumbag he is. What a total scumbag puppet he is. So, no, I don't think he's better. I think America was never, again, America's always been a lie from the beginning. The Constitution said the land of the free, home of the brave. The only people who ever had freedom and total rights were the rich ruling class, which is still the only people who have total freedom. The laws here don't apply to them. They apply to us. You know, they can murder people, do all the drugs they want in the world, whatever, get away with all of it. And we do those things, we end up in a cage like a zoo creature. So, um, no, no. Anyone who thinks Trump's so great, pull your head out of your ass. He's against the First Amendment. Remember, almost all of us got censored and deleted for the first time right after he became president. I got my channel deleted for the first time June 28, 2017 on Elon Musk's birthday, where censorship is up ever since he took over X. There's less things you can write on there. I had almost no censorship ever on X until he took over the platform. Little Jesuit puppet. I'm Dark Mega. That equals 78, like Jesuit, like Tesla. Like I was declared the world's richest man for the first time ever on January 7th, 2021, the 78th death anniversary of Tesla, the guy who wanted free energy as he sells overpriced electric cars. Isn't this a weird relationship? Trump's always out talking shit about electric cars, but then him and Elon Musk are best buddies. And Elon Musk doesn't run anything. I mean, the guy's, look at what he does on his Twitter. He plays video games at night. How's a guy who runs a rocket company and a car company, how's he out playing the Diablo, what is it, Diablo 4 video game that came out 201 days from the Superior General's birthday, and another satanic ritual, like Event 201 was on 10/18, like Satan comes to earth in Luke 10/18, like how the phrasing in the Bible of Satan is that old serpent, which equals 201. Big Jesuit number, like how the Vatican has the serpent there. Trump keeps telling the story about him and the snake. You knew I was a snake. You let me in. Next year, 2025 is the year of the snake. So no, I totally agree that he's better. No. He hates the First Amendment. He said he'd like to censor all of his critics. We all did get censored right after. Censorship's been at an all-time high ever since he took office. He doesn't like the Second Amendment. He said, I like take the guns first, due process later. That was his quote back in what year did he say that? 2018, 2019? I like take the guns first, due process later. That's totally un-American. He's against the First and Second Amendment. And you're telling me he's good? Move over to China. You know, that's who he's friends with. He's Mr. China. Mr. China trade deal, Mr. Cooties virus from China. You know, you think Trump's good? You belong in communist China. And it's really true for Kamala and Biden too. Again, they're all bad. I'm not trying to say one's better than the other, but to say that Trump's better, I can't think of a worse time in U.S. history than when he was president. And for all the dopes out there, they're like, well, that's because all those... Listen, imagine I was the president, you guys. Imagine let's just say I was the president when that happened. What would have things looked like? What would have things looked like versus Trump? Because what did I do? What did I do the day that Trump declared the state of emergency and enacted all the Patriot Act crap on Friday, March 13th, 2020? That's what Trump was doing on that day. What was I doing? I was giving out thousands of dollars in merchandise, which was very expensive for me, to get a huddle of people in front of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in Seattle, standing out in the freezing rain and cold. It was like 30-some degrees and raining all day, freezing our asses off to raise awareness about Event 201 and what Bill Gates had said a decade earlier and what was coming with what are now known as the CLOT shots. You know, that's what we were doing. Raising awareness about the agenda and the planning, not going along with it, not enacting the Patriot Act and everything that led to the lockdowns and the surveillance. Again, that's what Trump did. Okay. And then his trade deal with, again, just being at the World Economic Forum. So no, had you had a real leader, none of that would have been allowed to happen. It would have all been destroyed. It would have all been stopped in its tracks. It would have all ended right then because we saw through the whole scam. So no, Trump's not a real leader. He's part of the plan. Everyone who doesn't know that is just ignorant at this point. And again, we did the right thing. We could have changed the world. Not enough. I didn't have enough thousands of dollars of shit to give away to get a big enough crowd out there. We did get Cairo 7 to come out, and Deborah Horn of Cairo 7 in Seattle did talk to us. But had we had more people out there, they probably would have been forced to put it on the news. And who knows? Maybe we would have changed the world. Maybe everybody would have heard about Event 201 right out of the gate. And if you can go back in time, you can see that Event 201 did go viral on Twitter that following weekend after we did that. We were actually out there the whole weekend. We were out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Spent the whole weekend out there raising awareness. And again, it's just, you know, we did the right thing. Trump went along with the scam. So no, this is a horrible human being, total fraud, born for the job. He told you that in Asserta mattresses. They'll never count sheep again. Born for the job. Again, rigged selections, rigged puppets. Kamala was chosen long ago to even be in this position, and there's still a chance she does get in there too. But I do appreciate it. But we can't say that he's better. No, we can't say that he's better. Anyone who thinks he's better you're taking a side on a side that you shouldn't be taking. Real Talk says, salute Zach. Camelback ain't black. This whole thing, I did this thing too, man. People are you just see how easily people fight over race. Like I'm hearing people say, like, Jamaicans aren't black. I'm like, since when aren't Jamaicans black? Like, what? We've always known in our culture, if you're 1/100th black, you're considered black in our society. I saw a lady in the doctor's office today that was probably like 1/16th black. You could tell just barely. She's considered black in our society. Again, like Kamala, by every definition of black in America, is black. Okay, she might have been raised in white culture or non-black culture, just like Obama. But see, nobody was saying Obama wasn't black. Nobody was saying Obama wasn't black. They're like the same thing. Both went to the White House with Biden. One-term senators to the Oval Office. Biden wins the 47th U.S. presidential election way back in 72. Obama takes office at age 47. Now Kamala trying to become number 47 connected to Biden. And again, she can do it even if she doesn't win today. She can do it even if she doesn't win today if Biden does not finish his term and the Gerald Ford prophecy happens. But yeah, I think all this, because you see it's viral everywhere. Kamala ain't black. There's songs out there about her not being black. I just feel like all of this stuff is all part of the psychological operation and just divides people more and more and more and makes people even more confused about the world. I don't know what the point of saying Kamala isn't black is. You know, I get that she didn't come from that culture really, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Run Your Pockets said the numbers don't lie. But hey, thank you, Real Talk. I do appreciate the donation, and same to Run Your Pockets. The numbers don't lie. They do not. They don't. Logan Thomas said real men shouldn't want to be led. Real women shouldn't want a man they can't follow. The subversion of nature's law is almost complete. Appreciate your efforts as always. I mean, it really is. It really is. You listen to this younger generation, how like it's become like a core curriculum, gender studies, and you see how indoctrination works. You see how powerful indoctrination is. You see all these young people now saying that what a woman is a person who identifies as a woman. It's like, I was watching this debate online about this, and then the other guy says, so I'm a white guy. If I identify as black, then does that make me black? And then the guy's like, no, because you're born with a certain race. And I was like, is this guy seriously going to do this? You're seriously going to argue that you're a woman if you identify as a woman, but you can't identify as a different race? Because, I mean, logically, it's like, if you can just say that you're whatever you are, then you should be able to say that you're whatever race you are, too. I'm now black and Chinese, because then I'd do better on the SATs and jump higher. But again, it's not that way. It's not that way. So, yeah, it's just crazy indoctrination. It's like we all knew when we were younger, nobody was arguing about who's a woman, who's a man. If you were born with a little ding-a-ling, you were a boy. If you were born without one, you were a girl. I mean, it was simple. And now it's a real class, gender studies, where you learn that, oh, that's the old thinking. That's the old thinking. So can two guys where one identifies as a woman, can they pound each other in the beehole and then a baby pops out? Is that part of the gender studies? Have they had that discussion yet? Is that the new thing? They're probably working on that. Don't kid yourself. 40 years from now, it might be that way. Somehow they figured out some surgery you can get. I don't know. Implanted ovaries, impregnation through the butthole. Again, that's the kind of stuff that they put the science in. It's just like all of the technology is used to do all the wrong things. So, God, and man, just Oh my God. There's this show on Netflix. Have you guys seen this new Tyler Perry show on Netflix? I think it's called Beauty in Black. It's got like hardcore gay scenes in it. It's like gay porn. It's like, what is it? Where's the warning? I mean, it's just like, man, it's bad, man. It is bad. I'm like, God, I've never seen like this graphic of a sex scene and it's two men. Oh my God. And what else is messed up is it's the mom watching her son pound another man with like totally clear view. It's like, what is this a real scene? It looks real. Oh my God. Oh my God, Tyler Perry. What in the but I'll tell you what though, watching that show outside of that scene, I feel like that's another show like trying to show you how these people are that are at the top. They present so well in front of the cameras and they're totally wicked behind the scenes. Shows all kinds of messed up. All kinds of messed up. All right. Yeah, I agree, Logan Thomas. Thanks again, friend. Shout out to Logan Thomas. Him and his son came out and pounded payment with us all day in Portland this summer. Sage Zero. Sage Zero says, today is a span of 144 days from what would be Umega's 52nd birthday. President 52. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. And well, let's watch what they do with Minnesota, right? Because that's been a big storyline. They keep saying that Minnesota hasn't voted Republican in 52 years. Minnesota's 52. Remember, government's 52, authorities 52, president's 52, White House is 52. So Minnesota, who hosted Super Bowl 52, Minnesota, who fell to 5-2 on the anniversary of Jackie Robinson's death, the 52nd anniversary, the eve of the Dodgers going on to win the 52nd World Series for the NL. Again, Los Angeles Rams dropped them to 52. Right after DeMarcus Robinson scored, they started talking about the World Series and the death of Fernando Valenzuela. And people don't catch on to the jokes. We like Mr. Robinson to score this week in week 9, too, since baseball's a game of 9s. He came up with 2 touchdowns again, Mr. Robinson did. It's just crazy how they do that. DeMarcus Robinson scores on Jackie Robinson's death anniversary, and they immediately start talking about the World Series, and just the average sports fan just doesn't even get it. They're not even connecting the dots. They're not realizing it's Jackie Robinson's death anniversary. They don't see how the announcers like thumbing their nose at them. It really is a FU. These people are doing FU to everybody every day and getting away with it because people don't recognize the FU. These people do the most clever FUs every day. It's like Trump doing Operation Warp Speed on Mercuralia, the day to celebrate Mercury, as he calls himself the father of the jab. Not to mention it was the 2nd anniversary of Cladex, the first simulation of the scandemic. But yeah, good one, Sage Zero. Great research. Appreciate that. 144, big Jesuit number. Big number for this nation. The United States of America equals 144 like Jesuit order, like the Jesuits came out of suppression 144 days after James Madison's birthday. He was the sitting president at the time. Thanks again to Generous John, always with the generous donations. Appreciate that, John. Thank you. Ray says, we got to get you a manager or something to help get you on a major podcast and debate platforms. I wish that something like that would happen. If the world continues to march on for 10 years at the rate that we've been able to accumulate support, again, I'm on a long-term plan. I'd like to do things faster than the next 10 years, but I think if we have 10 more years and they haven't censored us and just flipped everything totally upside down and we're still here and breathing, I think we can change the world in another 10 years' time. And I realize that it has to be a snail's approach because I've been at this for 11 years. And when I first got here, I thought things would happen faster in the internet and information age. And you know what? Had things continued to go the way they were in 2016 and 2017, when this channel was booming and every video averaged 100,000 views and subs were growing like crazy before all the censorship and deletions, I think we'd be having a way bigger impact. But if we can keep up even at the pace we've been for 10 years, I see the types of things you're talking about happening. So I'd like to see it sooner, but again, that's the kind of timeline I'm looking at right now. So we're being the tortoise. We're moving forward slowly but surely. All right. I can't get caught up with the chat. It's way too busy, but we are caught up with all the super chatters. So thank you very much to, again, Ray, John Mendoza, Sage Zero, Logan Thomas, Run Your Pockets, Real Talk, Narc SBE, Gematria is Key, King Richard, and also 33 degree free Memeson. That is a funny name. You're clever. Clever people are good with the memes. I got to keep this Grover Cleveland one up. Because, yeah, that was the $1 million observation that I overlooked. And that's why I say there's always more. And in every single video post I do, I always miss at least one thing. And probably more. So, again, the codes are deep, but the 8-0 rituals in tribute to Cleveland and Grover Cleveland just makes way too much sense. It doesn't mean for sure that Trump is going to win. But no doubt that, just like we said, Trump would be the nominee this year in 2024 in tribute to him trying to become Grover Cleveland at the very least. So we'll see what happens. And again, if the overtime last night in the football game was the other clue, they might need extra time before they call this one. So let's do something real quick. Maybe you guys have some other observations. I'm going to drop the link to join, and I will also put up a phone number on the screen to call. Call in about the topic. The topic is the election, really selection, and keep it, again, that's a pretty big topic, so there should be a lot of things to discuss. If you got $1 million observation, if you think something else is going to happen. But I'll put up the phone number here to call in. And again, the link is down there. That's one way to join. The other way is... Oh, we got Jay with open eyes out in Georgia. What's up, Jay?
Hey, what's up? Now, I just wanted to add in my observations. Like, honestly, I think Kamala has to be number 47, but I also think that it's very likely for Trump to win and then her still become the president after, like, right before Trump gets inaugurated. Because I've been saying also for the longest that Kamala 47 shit with Lisa Simpson and then the Donald Trump 48 shit, I still think that's very likely to play out, especially with the Grover Cleveland tributes and all that shit. And in light of that, what I think is interesting is that the Cavaliers, they won with they beat the Bucks. They won with 116 points. So I'm thinking, do you think that could be a clue that they could call the election tomorrow on 11/6 for Trump to be the next Cleveland? Like a joke.
We did see Cleveland win with 116 points, didn't they? Like the
Yeah.
day November 6th.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. 11/6. They could call it tomorrow if he does win.
That could make a lot of sense. They won with 116. Yeah.
Yeah. And it will be on a day leaving 55 days left remaining in the year, and all the shit would all the shit would say 55.
Yeah. Yep. Makes total sense.
But yeah, I think I'm really leaning towards that. Like I thought that Kamala, because people was asking me what I thought, and I think Kamala has to be 47, whether she wins the election or whether Trump wins and she still becomes 47 right before Trump is inaugurated. So I think that's likely. The only thing is that I thought it would have happened before the election. But either way, I guess that they want to do a joke with her only being in there for like a month to pay tribute to the other president with Harris in his name.
Yeah, William Henry Harrison. 1 month. He's the shortest U.S. president because he's only president for 1 month.
31 days.
Yeah, he died 1 month.
Could be how to do that shit. So yeah. But that's all I really wanted to add. The only thing I want to close out on is that for people that still think that, because I'm making a video about it too, but for people that are like over here saying that, oh well, you know, if Kamala wins, then it's gonna get worse. You guys got to understand, bro. People keep saying, oh, if Trump was in office, things wouldn't be as bad as they are right now. You guys still do not get it. You still don't understand it. There would have never been a future where Trump was the president throughout these last 4 years because he wasn't meant to be the president throughout the last 4 years. I understand this very well because I'm a writer and I write my own stories and shit like that. That's what this is. It's a TV show. That was part of the script for Biden to win and him be the president, and then Kamala to have to take over like what we were saying for the past 4 years. People who keep saying, "Oh, if Trump gets in, at least we'll have a little bit more breathing room." You guys still do not get it. If Trump, we literally saw Trump be in office, and then the same shit, like the biggest, like, what the fuck moment of my life still happened while he was in office. We got all this massive inflation that was caused from the stimulus checks that was passed out under his presidency. That's the reason why, main reason why all the inflation is coming up. Am I good?
You're good. Sorry, I'm connecting the call board in the background because a lot of people are calling, so I'm going to need the call board.
Important instructions. Press 2.
Okay.
Hey, sorry about this. Yeah, I can't mute that. But go ahead.
Scheduled for starting.
Okay, yeah, but I was just saying that, yeah, but that we have all these things taking place. We're gonna what they have planned, they're gonna have planned regardless. And there's no difference. But as far as from us, we still gonna get fucked up the ass with the same shit. We still gonna continue to be the victims of the same bullshit, of the same tyranny, the same taxation, the same all this shit, whatever agenda they got planned. That's going to be the agenda that they have planned, and whoever they want to have office at that time, that's going to be the person that they plan, that they put in office. Like, is Trump, if they put Trump in office, that's the person they want to be the figurehead or to be the puppet for that event, just like how it was for what happened in 2020, and just like how it is now. These guys, they still don't get that it's literally like a TV show. It's a script. People are puppets. They don't have any control over anything. Like how Barack Obama went fucking viral 68 days from his birthday. His name 68. They telling these people what to do. So that people got to understand that and get that through their heads.
Absolutely. And again, how do you deny that Obama announced he was running for president on the anniversary of the feds recognizing Black History Month, 31 years to the day, when both Obama and slave equal 31? And again, they recognized Black History Month February 10th, 76, when Barack Obama equals 76, like slave, like Negro, like blues, like Rasta.
Oh,
everything.
Not to cut you off, that's another thing that I forgot. Donovan Mitchell equals 76 as well. I don't know if you caught that. Who wears number 45, like Donald John Trump. The last best record was 76. Yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, you go ahead. My bad.
Jay, we got other people on hold, so if you got it all in there, I'm gonna let somebody else.
Yeah, I got. That was the only thing I wanted to say. People just gotta understand this. It literally doesn't matter. Like that. This is all part of the script. Whoever they put in there. I gotta get off anyway.
All right, Jay. You have a good one.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Yeah.
All right, we got 708 on the line, and then we got the call board up if you guys want to call in. What's up, 708?
Hey, Zach, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, it's been a while since I called into the show. But yeah, I'm just calling to, again, tie in on the election. And I know you were saying something about like how last night's game connected. And did you actually say something about what's his name, Kareem Hunt getting his 62nd against the Buccaneers?
Well, we thought that was a lock before the game.
Right. So I actually think I might have seen like another narrative there. Like, do you know Kareem Hunt used to actually play for Cleveland?
Well, he started with the Chiefs, and then they cut him in a 59 ritual, and then he went to Cleveland, right? And now he's back on the Chiefs in the year of Super Bowl 59. Yeah, it's funny, too. Before he went to Cleveland, he got in trouble with the Chiefs at a Cleveland hotel, and then he eventually ended up on Cleveland. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that back up. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like how the other day, I'm sure you know that, of course, that Quincy Jones passed away. And I've noticed that Quincy Jones has the 55 gematria in the same cipher that Kareem Hunt's name does. Now, Quincy Jones, of course, died at 91. This, of course, last night's game was a rematch of Super Bowl 55. They both had that 55 in their name. The last night's game was 91 days from Kareem Hunt's birthday. So 91 days from his birthday, he's got that 55 and the same cipher as Quincy Jones. And it's a rematch of Super Bowl 55. So I kind of thought he was, locked for a touchdown too. But I had no idea about the 62 narrative.
You must not be on Patreon then. You're not on Patreon. We talked about that in a big way. We thought that was the safest bet of the whole night. Rashad White's from Kansas City. He scored. Again, DeAndre Hopkins had the number to score that synced up with President Trump. You know what I'm realizing about Kareem Hunt? The day that he had the incident in the Cleveland hotel was the anniversary of Black History Month being created by the federal government too in '76. It was literally the 42nd anniversary. The 42nd anniversary, you guys. Oh my God, man. It was the 42nd anniversary of Black History Month being created that Kareem Hunt got in trouble in the Cleveland hotel. I mean, and then 42 months later, the news story came to light, or 42 weeks later, the news story came to light. I mean, it's just saying stuff over and over and over. When he got signed by Cleveland, it was on the 42nd day of the year, the Vatican's birthday, like how Kamala, which equals 42, lost her mom on the Vatican's birthday right after Obama became president. Same repetitive stuff over and over. And again, for anyone who tells you it's anyone other than the Jesuits doing this, please, they gave us the language and the calendar. And again, all of you guys are so in love with the NFL where they play for literally the Jesuit named trophy, the Lombardi Trophy. Okay.
Yeah, it's just perfect number scripting right there.
Yeah. Yep. It is. It is.
But yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, as far as the who's gonna win? Like I see, like it does just seem like Trump may have a stronger narrative. But would you say you're leaning towards Trump? You're not giving like.
You must not have watched this video at all, my man. You got to watch the video. Just rewind the video.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get called up, but yeah, that's pretty much all I had, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Jones narrative.
All right, but I do like your observation with Kareem Hunt and how he did go to Cleveland for a minute. Makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, take care.
All
right, take it. For the people calling the 509 number, notice I changed the number on the screen to call in. It's now the call board number, and the reason I did that is because there's a lot of people calling in, and when you call in the call board, you get put in order. So call the 563 number on the screen. We got 916 leading us off. What's up, 916?
What's up, man? I just had a observation last night, and I didn't see this video from the beginning. I just caught that you were on, so I want to be caught up on what you were talking about with 114. But I had an observation with the Kings Heat game last night. The final score was 111 versus 110, just like 9/11 leaves 111 days, Twin Towers 110 stories, and the Kings played 9 players and the Heat played 11 players. So. I was wondering if you thought, that looks like a ritual to me.
Yeah, again, I mean, that's all it is in these rig sports leagues. Rituals night after night, and we were on the right side of it. We had the Kings to beat the Heat.
Okay, yeah. And I know Trump is a lot of stuff with 9/11 and the Twin Towers, with Trump and him wanting to rebuild the Twin Towers. So... And 11-4 kind of looks like 11-9 too, if you kind of look at the 4 and the 9. But I have to see what you were saying on 114 from the beginning.
Yeah, for anyone who got here late, you definitely want to rewind this stream to the beginning and watch in the beginning.
Okay.
All right.
This is Cyrus, man. So hope all is well, and I'll do that right now.
Appreciate that. Thank you, 916. All right, for the person in the 860 Hartford, Connecticut, you keep calling my phone over and over. Here, I'm just kidding. 860, call the number on the screen, please. All right. They just keep calling over and over. Can't read the number on the screen. What's up, 847? 847.
Yeah, going back to the game.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yeah, you got a lot of noise coming in the phone. Sounds like you're driving with the window open.
Yeah, it just started downpouring here. I'm in Illinois here. Sorry. I just wondered if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Reed came into the game last night with 100. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah, so Andy Reid came into the game with 135 wins. And Andy Reid equals 136. And it was 136 days before his birthday.
Yeah.
So he picked
Well,
up his
hold on. I just want to
136th
clarify
win with
things.
Tampa.
I just want to clarify
136
things.
days.
He got his 136th regular season win with the Chiefs last night, which is the 16th triangular number, like how Obama was elected 16 years ago, and he has the parallels to Kamala. And he got his 152nd total win with the Chiefs if you include the postseason, because he has 16 more in the postseason, like Kamala Debbie Harris's 152.
Right.
So those were two of the things that made things a little bit more interesting for Kamala. Again, they paid tribute to Trump and Kamala last night with the game, just like they did in the World Series. But ultimately, these narratives are pointing more to Grover Cleveland, the split-term president.
Right. And then I don't know if you caught this, Zach. I know you picked up on the, that 49ers game back when they picked up their 666 win.
Yeah.
Realize that it was 666 days from Kyle Shanahan's birthday?
If you skip a birthday, I guess, because there's not that many days in a year. So.
Yeah. But it lands directly right on his birthday. 666 days from his, two birthdays.
Okay. That's interesting, I guess. All right. Appreciate it, man. Drive safe.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, it's always best if you guys can call from a quiet place so you don't drive the listeners nuts. What's up, 252?
What's up, Zach? Man, I don't even got that many observations, but as far as numbers wise, but you got a couple things like just related to this whole thing. First off, man, it is really crazy to me how these people really just still fight. They have so, I scroll on social media and I see hundreds of posts throughout the past year of just past few months of I lost 15 years friendships. There's literally women on social media and guys too who are just like yelling at their phone unironically about how relationships have just been fucked up because of who their son is voting for. There's ladies crying because they've raised their son to be a Trump type of guy. He's a Kamala voter or vice versa. There's just a lot of shit. But really, I just wanted to talk about what you were talking about earlier with how the young people are like, they honestly, those are some of the most outlandish people. Like those are really, if you go around anywhere across the states, most people aren't like that, but the ones who are just really deep under the mind control. But it is just, I don't know, it's just baffling me. I just wanted to call to just speak about how people have to understand that. Like I've said this a million times when I've called into these public streams, that what these people do, y'all have to understand what these people, there is no Trump or Kamala. And I mean that in the sense that what Trump does is what he's not even told to do. I'd bet your ass that, like I said, these people are operating under some type of mind control the same way we are. The people who mind control us know what they are the same. They're mind controlling the politicians, the athletes. It's just like how you brought up how Devin Booker busted his nose in that one game, and the first thing the camera did was pan to the lady with the busted nose shirt of Steve Nash. And
Hold up. We can't say the lady. The lady was the wife of the owner of the Suns. Like, why is she wearing a white T-shirt with a big imprint of Steve Nash with a broken nose, bleeding from his face, the night the same thing happens to Devin Booker? Like, have you ever seen like a multi-millionaire, billionaire lady wearing a white T-shirt, first of all, ever at a basketball game, but then of a bloodied Steve Nash? I mean, come on.
Exactly. It's fucking exactly. That's exactly what the fuck I'm saying. And the subliminals. And that just goes on. My point is they feed this stuff. This stuff is fed. This stuff is fed by an evil force. This is not just people doing what they choose to do. This is more than free will. This is more than Trump's a bad guy, Kamala's a good one, or vice versa. This is something that's so theatrical, so fake. I don't think anybody could fathom the truth about how these people do this. So what you have to understand is Trump is not somebody to judge individually. Trump does nothing but what's in the book. Kamala does nothing but what's in the book. These people, and like I said, you know me, I always take it forward. These people aren't chosen. These people are born for it. They're not chosen. They're born. The very minute from their existence, the very minute that they so-called die, is nothing but a string of events. Every single thing that your attention is brought to in the media every day, whether big or small, is nothing but a string of line of events that is just fueled by, like I said, energy and attention and everyday reactions. And it's so crazy how people are in your comments. And I speak on this. The reason I talk about this too is because there's people who are in your live stream chat, who are in your comments, who support your work, who are still going, my favorite player this, my favorite rapper this, my Cleveland Cavaliers this, my president this, Trump is better this, Kamala, but if Kamala gets in, she's gonna do this. I'm telling you, this shit is nothing but a part of a plan to not only break us up and divide us, but it's a part of a plan that will never, I guarantee you, half of the shit that these people put in your face, they say, oh, Trump, people, you talk to the average person, they say, oh, I'm voting for Kamala because of women's rights. I'm here to say, and I'm willing to be wrong, that after this presidential election is over, there's probably going to be nothing different about these abortion rights. It's going to be handled by the state, and there's probably going to be.
Listen, let me interject because I'm a little bit older than you. You guys, in the 90s, when I was in high school, we used to have a debate every year at election time, just like part of the school exercises. Volunteer, we'd go to the big auditorium, and they'd line up if you want to be on the Republican side or the Democratic side, already keeping you in the two-party system idea. And all the debates was people talking about abortion and the border. That's in the 90s. This stuff's been going on, though. It's the same topics every election cycle. All anyone would ever get up on the mic and talk about was either the border or abortion. They keep everybody locked into the same things, election cycle after election cycle. They need these issues to keep people coming out and voting. Half the country is solely motivated to vote based on where abortion is, and they're always going to be able to be changing things around with the courts and what they did in this state, and now what the federal government's trying to pass. Like as soon as they overturned Roe versus Wade, instantly they said, oh, we need Democrats back in there to now pass laws and make it the law of the land. Again, it's all part of a game, keeping you just stuck on the same things. And for all of you guys who are so mad about what's going on at the border, again, go back to the 90s. Byron Dorgan was the only politician who had it right. He said if we passed NAFTA, it was going to put Mexican farmers out of work, and they were going to be forced to come to the U.S. because it's where the only job opportunities would be. Exactly what happened. We passed NAFTA, and we destroyed Mexican agriculture because all of a sudden corn farmers, they can't live off what the new set price is of corn. And these things aren't by accident. The mega corporations want Mexicans in the country because everybody knows, Mexicans are great for labor. They work super hard. They'll work crazy hours, and they'll work for pennies on the dollar. Why wouldn't you want that if you're an employer? When this is a nation run by mega corporations, they know exactly what they're doing. And for everyone thinking Trump's going to fix the border, remember what Trump said when he ran in 2016. He said, I'm going to build a wall. I'm going to have Mexico pay for it, and I'm going to shut down the crossings. Did any of that happen? Nope. Oh, we'll give them another 4 years. It's going to be another nope. Again, they need these games to be played, and they need the finger pointing. And if Trump doesn't get it done again and he gets in there, he's going to say, well, the Democrats stopped it again. And blah, blah, blah. This is the game. They have to keep you stuck on the same stuff so that you keep coming and voting for their rigged system, because they know you're consenting to their form of government, which is total tyranny. Comes from the right and the left. Again, I was 17 years old in 2000. That was the year of Bush Gore. I wasn't old enough to vote, but I was smart enough to see after that election that it was all bullshit. And that's why I've never voted in any federal election, because I'm not consenting to bullshit. In 2000, they said 3 months before the election happened, it would come down to Florida, where Bush's brother was the 43rd governor. It came down to Florida. He became the 43rd president. Their daddy was the 43rd vice president. 2004, the first election federally where I was old enough to vote, Tim Russert, he let it be known that it was between Bush and Kerry, two members of Yale Skull and Bones. Yale equals 43. Number 43 stayed in power. He asked them both. He said, what are the odds that the two candidates would be from this little tiny secret society that only allows 15 members per year? And remember, 15, the Illuminati founded on the first day of the 5th month. What's Skull and Bones modeled after? The Bavarian Illuminati. These things aren't an accident. 2008, Obama, 10 years after Tupac's song Changes, that probably was recorded after his supposed death, which seems super ritualistic, and I'm not even sure that really happened. But Changes, it said we still ain't seen a black president yet. Came out in 98. A decade later, we get Obama by the slave code, as we've talked about so many times, paying tribute to slavery. 2012, who's Obama run against? The first Mormon candidate, when Mormon's a racist religion. It says the closer you are to God, the whiter your skin becomes. So you have the first black president versus the most racist religion there is. Obvious symbolism. Mitt Romney never had a chance. Nobody's voting for a Mormon. 2016, the Donald running from the 58-story Trump Tower for the 58th election when Freemasonry equals 58, and the first degree of Freemasonry is the apprentice. Nobody got it but us. We called it out in 2016 at the start of the year before he was even the Republican nominee. 2020, Joe Biden becomes the nation's second Catholic president. Again, I think we're the only people who called it. I didn't see anybody say that Biden was going to win in 2020 besides us. We said the election's 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Catholic equals 46. Joe Biden will become the nation's second Catholic president. The first JFK killed at age 46. Again, 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament, and in Gematria, Catholic equals 46. What do you think happened to Beau Biden at age 46? 201 days from the Pope's birthday, when Inauguration Day is the 201st day of the nation's age, and the same Jesuit priest did the funeral for Beau Biden and the inauguration for Joe. Anyway, you can close it up real quick, caller, because there are a lot of people on hold. But again, I wanted to recap all of the rigged selections in the time I've been an adult and why I think you're a fool to support any of these candidates or these parties when it's nothing but a game they're playing with all of us.
Thank you. Exactly. I swear to God, that's what I'm saying. Since 6 years old, I get exactly what you're saying. Since I was able to form a thought about anything political, I do not consent to bullshit. Exactly. That is the main thing of it. And one last thing we want to throw out there, there's a lot I can say, but one last thing we want to throw out there. What did they just bring to you in the NFL? The most, right in the time of the election, they just brought to you Jameis Winston. If you go look at Jameis Winston, everything he says is overtly and annoyingly about God. We got faith. We got so much faith. Faith. And that hand symbol he does where he eats the W, that's a very occultic symbol with a lot deeper meaning to it. And he's flashing that up as he's talking about God. As soon as Deshaun Watson, I mean, I've never seen a guy take over a spot for a guy who just had a season injury, talk so much about God. Well, God had to fuck somebody up for you to get where you are today. So what do you think about that? But you don't say anything about that. God. And then he comes in. The reason I talk about this and you talking about Joe Biden is because as soon as Jameis Winston comes in, he's facing the Ravens, Maryland, a Catholic city. And what does his record become? 35-46. He comes in, he steps up, he gets his 35th win. When Browns is 35, he comes in and it makes his record 35-46. Bullshit. It's nothing but bullshit. Whether or not you're in the know, you should feel ashamed for if you're over any type of age that can have any type of discernment, you should be embarrassed to find any legitimacy in any of this. This is all bullshit.
Indeed. And this is a young guy out there with a brilliant mind. He's part of our sports community, does really great work. Sometimes he puts the teacher to shame. But hey, keep it up, 252. Wish there were more like you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, take care. And we got a gentleman in the back room, and then we're going to get to the other callers. If you guys can keep your thoughts to about 2 minutes or less, it would be helpful because there are a lot of people waiting to speak. But we got Calfani on. What's up, Calfani? If I'm saying that right.
A long time now.
Oh, shoot. Your connection's broken up right now. Shoot. Calfani, if you want to re-log on, I'll take another call and you can come back and we'll see if we get a better connection. That's too bad. All right, let's go out to 505. What's up, 505?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing today, Zach?
Doing well. What's up, Dave?
So real quick observation. Yesterday I gave you the score of 30-13. The Chiefs actually scored the 30. What I missed was the Bucs scoring 24. Now they're on 322 points versus the Chiefs.
Yeah,
In
what
the
do you
regular
know?
season.
What do you know? Order 322, Skull and Bones, American football, credited to Walter Camp of Yale Skull and Bones and a Scottish Rite Freemason. Reminds us of Tim Russert in 2004 asking Bush and Kerry, what's up with that? 322. Just super redundant.
Yeah, I just had to throw that out. But on that picture that, what was it? Where they called the election for Pennsylvania. If you look at the numbers on the bottom, I don't know if I told you this a couple of days or not, but if you read the poll numbers in reverse, for Kamala, it will have the 217 next to her name.
Okay. Again, this story from, or hold on, I pulled up the wrong thing. Let me see, where's it at? For some reason.
And then for Trump, okay.
I'm trying to pull up the post that you're talking about so people can see it. I'm having trouble.
Okay.
Go ahead and explain while I look.
Yeah, it's got the 217, and we've been documenting about the 217 with Kamala. Reading it backwards for Trump, I think it's 397, which is the 78th prime.
Okay.
So those numbers, even though that picture was, we documented as it being a HOAX, I mean, those numbers on that picture tell a big story. Plus, they use the Mexican Grand Prix, and Mexico elected their first
female
woman president.
Yeah, the day after Michelle Obama's mom died too, and yeah, that was
Mexico GP, which is on the banner on that picture, it's 47. That equals 47. The timestamp on the top, if you read it in reverse, that's Kobe's birthday, and it's a Pennsylvania story. In between the numbers, you have the number 42 going in reverse, and then the last one is 213. That's the Los Angeles area code. So I saw that in the picture as well, just with the Kobe, Pennsylvania thing.
All right, good observations. Appreciate that, Dave.
Yeah, that 217 was, I was like, oh my gosh, we've been talking about this for years, and then that 217 showed up in that picture. I was like, I had to let you know.
Yeah, good thoughts.
But that's all I got, Zach. I'll hear from you in a couple hours.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Take care, man.
Appreciate you teaching me the work. Thank you.
All right, indeed.
Okay, bye.
Okie dokie. Let's go out to 559 again. If you guys keep the calls 2 minutes, we got a number of people on hold. 559.
Yo, okay, so I posted a post on Truth Social about the Directive 5240 you were looking for the other day. I don't know if you had come across this a while back ago, but apparently there was a film released in the Sundance Festival in regards to, it's called War Game, 6 Hours to Save Democracy. And it's like a panel, TrueCon, some shit like that. I don't know. They hosted it, and it's about the election and somebody not wanting to accept the results. I forgot if it was to concede or whatever. And then later on, I posted a link that talks about the same thing. The only numbers I have is 60, which is in the news about a tropical storm, Rafael. It's 60, like I think it's Donald Trump is 60.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So that's all I had. Keep it up with the good work, man.
Will do. Thank you. All right, let's go out to 978. What's up, 978? Nine, 7, 8. 978, we can't hear you. going to go out to the next caller. Then we got somebody else from the 559.
What's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, man? I got I'm kind of new to everything. I've been following you for a few months, man. One of my partners put me on to you. I had no idea about any of this stuff until I started watching you, man. And my boy told me about you, and I started listening to you, man. I'm like, man, this makes some sense here. You know, I've read a lot of books on some pretty strange stuff. I love Jordan Maxwell. There's a host of documents that I've read that are very strange about some of the plans these people, whatever you call them, the controllers, the rulers, the Illuminati, whoever they are, wherever they are, they put this stuff that they're doing in writing. And this just shows how arrogant they are. And these numbers that your numbers in the letters and all this stuff that you're talking about, man, I need to learn how to do the decoding, man. How do I exactly learn how to do it? Do I get your book, or how do I learn how to really do it?
My book is probably the best way to learn. I mean, I got 2 books out there. I put them in ebook form, which isn't a bad way to do it, because then you can download them anytime as long as you save the link once you buy it. And then also Letters and Numbers. My first book's 800 pages. So if you want to skip around and look for things, it makes it easier to skip through the document. But Letters and Numbers, the first 100 pages is really a good, it gets 800. But if you read the first 100 pages of the green book, Letters and Numbers, you'll get a good introduction of why they do this and fundamentals and things to definitely remember. And you learn the things that are just in those first 100 pages. That same stuff comes up all the time. So,
right. Is that available like in the video description? You have the link to where I can get that, or
the link to my website's in all of my posts. It's GematriaEffect.news, and if you're on your cell phone, it's a drop down thing to get to ebooks. If you're on a computer, you'll see at the top where you just go to the ebooks tab, and it's right there. I'll drop the link in the live chat right now too for anyone who's interested. And the physical copy of Number Games is on Amazon. It costs more to get the physical copy. Obviously, that's for sale on Amazon. There's a woman in Canada who I've allowed to put out my green book in. She's doing it in volumes, so she's put out the first 3 volumes. They're like 100 pages each. I think she's going to end up doing like 8 volumes. But she gets all the proceeds from that, and I gave her permission to help her help. So somebody else is selling my book in physical form on Amazon in volumes. You don't get the whole book, but if you wanted the whole thing, you can get it for $5 off my website. So,
okay, I will do. One other thing I want to know from you. Some people you can't reason with them. Some people, it doesn't matter how much proof or evidence you show. You just can't reason with them. They're stuck. They won't concede that they're wrong on anything. And I find that to be the case with a lot of these people participating in these elections, especially these liberals. You know, I know both sides are corrupted, but especially these people who call themselves Democrats and liberals. You can't reason with these people. And it doesn't matter how idiotic their points are. You just can't reason with them. There was a guy who my barber, actually, I was letting him know. I'm saying, hey, man, this NFL, these pro sports are rigged, man. This guy just swears it's only to the level of a referee who was given some money and he blew a call on purpose and all. He takes it to that level. And I say, no, man, it's deeper than that. These people, it's in the actual game play. And no, it's not that. It ain't in the game play, man. It's just no. They're really out there balling, man. Because he's like, yeah, I know a guy that went to the NFL, and you're telling me this guy had a script and all. I said, well, they may not all be aware of it. They may not all be in on it or aware of it, but it very well may be the case. What do you say to a person like that who just you can't explain anything to him?
I put a quote up on the screen to speak to what you're talking about. It's a well-known quote. It goes, "You can't convince a believer of anything, for their belief is not based on evidence. It's based on a deep-seated need to believe." And again, that's why they teach us from a young age to believe in stuff, believe in this religion, believe in Santa Claus, believe in these government stories in the books. They got us all believing in stuff in books, whether it's religion or fake history. And a lot of people just grow up being believers of the stories that they were told from authority. And you realize sports is a big part of human culture too. And a lot of us grew up playing sports, wanting to be the next athlete. And again, there's that other quote from Mark Twain that it's easier to fool somebody than convince them they've been fooled. People don't want to admit that they've been had by these rigged sports leagues. And yes, the refs and the coaches are definitely in on it. There's key players on every team definitely in on it. I don't think everybody out on the court or on the field knows, but the big stars do, and you can just see it, the way they throw games. I mean, you can't tell me Peyton Manning's not in on it as he lofts a interception way over his receiver's head into the secondary against the Saints so that they can win their first Super Bowl after Katrina against his father's team, who'd never won nothing before that. I mean, just give me a break, dude. If you can't see that it's rigged, you're brain dead. So.
All right, Zach. Thanks, man.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right. All right. But yeah, that's the quote. You can't convince a believer of nothing. That's why our channel's not the most popular one on YouTube. It should be based on everything we demonstrate for over 11 years. Nostradamus who? That's what we say over here. Nostradamus who? What's Nostradamus called? Look at our resume over here in just 11 years. Nostradamus, please. Let's go out to 860. What's up, 860?
Hey, what's going on, Jack? How you doing?
Yeah, what's up?
Apologies if you covered this already. If you did, then I missed it. But just something quick that I found interesting is that in 2025, President's Day falls on the 48th day of the year, which I think bodes well for the scenario where Trump wins and Biden doesn't finish his term.
All right. Yeah.
Now in 2021, President was.
That's a good observation. I didn't think to look ahead at President's Day next year. February 17th. It's on MJ's birthday. It's on Jim Brown's birthday, and Jim Brown's daughter just endorsed. Oh, man, it's wicked. It's on Jim Brown's birthday. Cleveland, 48th day of the year. Jim Brown died for Donald Trump. Oh, my goodness.
Lines up perfect. I think there's a scenario, too, where Trump is 47, and I think Kamala is destined to be 47 one way or another. I think it's possible she comes back in 2028 and is the 47th person to hold the office if Trump doesn't end up finishing his term, but that's more down the line.
I'll remind people that the Simpsons have a cartoon of Ivanka Trump being the president in 2028. She's going to be 47 that year. And again, for people who don't know this, look it up. Look up the Simpsons cartoon about Ivanka becoming president in 2028. Look at the overlap with Lisa Simpson and Ivanka Trump. It's literally the exact same in every cipher, including 146, which is a lot like Trump's birthday, the 14th day of the 6th month, which is also the flag's birthday. The flag sewn at 239 Arch Street, and Trump coming into office in 2017 when the flag was 239 years old, and him taking on the protesters of the flag on 23/9. And we said that day the Super Bowl is going to be the Eagles, Philly, 239 Arch Street, where the flag's from, versus the Patriots with the flag on the helmet. Exactly what happened. Scripted sports, scripted politics. 239 is the 52nd prime. The Super Bowl was in Minnesota that year, 52. This year, Kamala picks the football coach supposedly in Philly. It's crazy what they just did with the Eagles versus Jaguars game this weekend. Doug Peterson, who coached that Eagles team that won the Super Bowl, now coaches the Jags. The Jags came in to play Philadelphia with a negative 52-point differential, and the Eagles were 5-2 coming into the game, like they won Super Bowl 52, and now the Jags play Minnesota next, again, where the Super Bowl was won. Again, scripts on scripts. But, yeah, great observation.
Yeah, that's all I got. I'll let some other people take their calls.
All right, appreciate it, 860. Thank you. Let's go out to 385. What's up, 385?
Hey, I just wanted to call about a few things about the game last night and the election. The game went into overtime 24-24, and Grover Cleveland was the 24th president, and Donald Trump could become the second Grover Cleveland in 24, like 2 24s. I thought that was pretty interesting. And the fact there's 48 total points, and the fact that the last caller just pointed out that the President's Day in 2025 is on the 48th day of the year. So I feel like it's all lining up for Trump. It's pretty easy to see if you got eyes to see it, you know.
It makes a lot of sense. The other day they were saying it was tied in Pennsylvania at 48% all. Again, Donald Trump's the one with the 48 connection,
Right.
like Cleveland. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also like the fact that Donald Trump beat a woman last time around, and he failed to beat the man. So I feel like he's just gonna, history will repeat itself, and he'll beat the woman again. Just more scripts, more plays at the society, just clowning on us, But yeah, that's pretty much all I had was the fact that he could beat a woman again, and it's just, it's basically pretty obvious to me at this point. So, but yeah, that's all I've got. I guess there's a lot of people online, so yeah, you can go to somebody else. Thanks for taking my call, Zach.
All right, great observation. Thank you. All right, that was 385. Let's go out to 480, Phoenix. He's got the rhythmic tapping on the phone. 480, are you there? Like,
yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, what's up?
Okay. Yeah. Hey, so I'm going to be as succinct as possible. Have you ever heard of the Consumer Purchasing Power Index from the Federal Reserve Education Department?
It's a little bit hard to hear because it sounds like you're traveling. Say it again.
Have you ever heard of the Consumer Purchasing Power Index from the Federal Reserve Educational Department?
Tell me more about it. I would understand what the index is about, what you can buy with $1, but where are we going with this?
Well, I think that you've been on this thing for years now, saying that they're planning some kind of, the Jesuits are planning some kind of taking away of civil liberties and, the Project 2030s and Agenda 201s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think really what this really comes down to, sir, is if you look at the Consumer Purchasing Power Index from the Federal Reserve, there's officially about 3 cents of purchasing power left in the U.S. dollar. And do you know what happens when it hits close to that big old zero that's at the end of the chart there?
Tell me.
Well, you get the death of a currency.
That's what I would assume. Yeah,
and
that's where they're taking us to. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Right, we're getting brought to the end of fiat currency, and the replacement is going to be a digital currency or a CBDC.
Yeah. And I want to remind people. About what they did with the guy who essentially invented digital currency, Bob Lee, who gave us Square and CashApp, and how they took him out on April 4th, 4/4, after the Fed said they were going to begin certifying their FedNow system the first week of April on the anniversary of the Ides of March, which is to remember the killing of Caesar in 44 BC. Bob Lee got stabbed to death like Caesar got stabbed to death. And then they ended up putting the FedNow system into place on the 201st day of the year, going with how the Fed was once established in a major Jesuit ritual back in the time of Woodrow Wilson. So anytime you hear people saying it's small hat bankers that run the banks, no, the original bankers were Templars. The Templar cross in the middle of the Jesuit Order's logo. They run all your cryptos, including Bitcoin. They run the money system. They run the government system. They run the media system, the sports system, and all these fake truthers out here who neglect my work and talk shit about it. They're all part of the shill network, misleading you about who's running the world. And that's why none of them will debate me either, because they know they're all going to get smoked. So anyhow, go ahead.
No, you're good. So essentially, talking about the presidential election, it doesn't matter who wins. The goal is by the year 2030 to have a digital economy that we are transitioned into. This was the United Nations just had their Summit of the Future back at the end of September. Did you ever look into that?
I don't know if I did. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you should read the release paper. They did a release paper. It's called The Pact for the Future. And if you look and do Control F and type in the word digital, the word digital appears 244 times, and it's a 62-page document. Okay.
That reminds me that the Illuminati founded by a Jesuit was on the day leaving 244 days left in the year. And of course, Illuminati symbolism's all over the dollar bill. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So there, I mean, this is the reality that we're living in. You know, the train left the station. There's 3 cents of purchasing power left in the U.S. dollar. That's the official numbers from the Fed. So obviously that's cooked. It's probably closer to like, a cent of purchasing power. But that's the road that we're coming down. And Zach, I think that, your worry of the civil liberties being taken away, that is facilitated when we enter into a surveillance state economy. We saw what happened with the truckers in Canada when they were doing a completely legal demonstration of their right to do a protest. Well, the Canadian government turned off their bank accounts, and if you even so much as donated $1 to the truckers, they turned off your bank account too. Well, that's the reality, and it's going to happen. It's going to be even worse because when that digital currency comes out, the world central banks are going to have their finger on the pulse 24/7.
Yep.
So,
no, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. There's already signs of this because so many of us are already into the digital thing. We're getting our payments digital. We've been cut off for the things we've done. I remember when all my financial revenue things got deleted and censored on the Ides of March. What year was that? 2019, the year of the mosque shootings in New Zealand. I got every single form of revenue I had because I'm in the digital world too now. Everything got cut off and censored that day. So I all of a sudden had no income and I had to reestablish myself. But yeah, all of this has been foretold. John Kerry was just over at the World Economic Forum a couple of weeks ago communicating these kind of ideas and how something severely needs to be done about people online putting out misinformation. Again, I'm considered one of those people, even though the things I've been putting out have been truthful and verified 1,000 times over. Again, they do intend to cut off people financially who go against the system, and the sheep will march along to it, and they'll shrug their shoulders and say, well, they're only doing that to the conspiracy theorists as they go out and get their next unnecessary experimental pokey doke and put their slave muzzle or 2 slave muzzles or 3 or whatever the latest CDC recommendation is. This is where they're taking us, and Donald Trump's not the guy to fight against that. He's the guy who helped usher it in with Event 201. And again, yeah, people need to wake up. So anyway, I got to keep it moving, but great call. And I'm going to go back and listen again because there's some things I need to go look up that you had. So thank you.
Yeah, just real quick, I'll leave you on this note. Look up Project Agora. That's what they're working on.
How do you spell that? How do you spell that? How do you spell it?
Project AGORA. Project Agora. And look at the public sector, or the private sector that got involved with it recently.
I'll do that. Agora. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, good call. All right, his call got more clear as he drove along there. Let's go out to 562. What's up, 562?
Yo, Zach, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? I had a question. Why haven't you been on the street spraying the snow? Because I know back in 2020 when you used to stream on Twitch, you'd be spraying the word.
Well, I have been out on the street, right? Just not as much. I mean, I was just out in Portland not that long ago.
Oh, Portland?
Yeah, we were out in Portland for it was a good stream. You must have missed it. But again, things that happened from being out on the street almost every day back in 2020. Almost more than half of my revenue shut off by big tech. Nobody stepped up to support the work again. Again, we drove from Seattle to New York and hit every city between. Support went down instantly by a ton. The channels have been deleted and the growth has been slower, so it hasn't helped get out the word. It hasn't helped build resources. And also, it started to get creepy there. What was it, day 65 or something of 65th day straight out in Yakima when I got all of a sudden the gangbanger coming by, flashing his gun, saying he's going to shoot me if I don't get off the corner. I got some weirdo gay guy who drove out from Seattle throwing rocks at us. So, I mean, it just started to get weird and creepy. So you're dealing with that. You're dealing with your revenue getting cut off. I mean, so those are the reasons why. If it had helped and changed things and made things bigger and the word was getting out more and more, I would have kept doing it, but everything went opposite.
Yeah, I mean, that was funny, You should have put clips out there because I saw videos of you talking trash, you getting throwing like smoothies on you.
Exactly.
Damn.
Yeah, that happened too. That's right. I got pelted with a
I
smoothie.
think 2020 was like a crazy time. Like if you spoke out, like you're automatically silenced. But I think now it's kind of calmed down a little bit.
But I do intend to get out way more. It's just I got to figure out a way to do it without getting the support cut off. So that's why I said it's like a 10-year plan. In 10 years, I think I'll have ways to sustain myself without having to depend on doing social media. So that's where we're trying to get to.
I mean, I subscribed to your Sports Gematria, I think, for like 3 months. I mean, isn't your Patreon doing good?
What?
I subscribe to your Patreon. You know how you give out picks.
Uh-huh.
Have you not been getting a lot of money from that? Has that not been contributing to the support you need?
Well, that's the kind of work I have to do to get financial support. That's what people support, is doing sports picks. So yeah, I mean that's where the revenue is in this. Sadly, I wish people supported the book or just doing this work and getting out the information about news. And that's the thing too. I mean, I'm here doing the news every day for free, ton of time, and then doing the sports stuff, which is a ton of time. But the support is for the sports work. So yeah.
You don't have enough members to, because I'm not gonna lie, I've been taking a look at your trolls videos, and you said you make like 1 million. Is that true or not?
I don't make anywhere near $1 million. I wish that was true. So those are trolls. But anyway, appreciate it, 562. I'm starting to get the vibe that you are one of the trolls. I wish we did get $1 million. That would be nice. And really, there should be way more support than that. We should bring in $1 million a month based on what we do on this channel. Again, a lot of people could be making a lot of money off the knowledge, like people who are on the sports page. And there should be way more than 1 million people pledging $1 a month to make what needs to happen here. We should have GematriaEffectNews with full teams of employees with major studios in every major city. Then the world would be changing. And again, but people would rather invest in trolls and shills and spend their money on fast food and all kinds of crap they don't need. Subscribe to every streaming service, which you don't need. But ask people to donate $1 to the most righteous cause there ever was in the history of the internet, which is right here on this channel with what we've been exposing every single day for over 11 years. And again, it's crickets for most people, unless they can get some sports picks. Let's go out to 480. 480. 480. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
There we
I was
go.
already on. I don't know why it went that.
Sorry. I thought you were the next 480. I'll keep it moving. My bad. Thanks again for the great call. Let's go out to 978. What's up, 978?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hello?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right. Just got 2 quick questions about dating numerology. I'm new to this stuff. First question is, if an event takes place in China, or no, let me say it like this. Okay, if an event takes place today at 11 p.m. in China, it takes place tomorrow at 11 a.m. So what date numerology would I apply? The date numerology of today or the date numerology of tomorrow?
Where the event took place.
Okay, all right. Also, if an event is scheduled to start today, but it gets postponed to another date, do you apply the date numerology for the day it was supposed to happen or the day that it got postponed?
Are you talking about like if a baseball game gets rained out and rescheduled for the next day or a week from now? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
See, that's why I always say to people, I don't like baseball rainout games because it seems like sometimes both of them matter and it's hard to tell. It seems like sometimes they're paying tribute to the original date and sometimes it got relocated to that date for a reason. So I'd say in those kind of situations where things get confusing and you're looking at more numbers, I'd just say move on to the next event. Because if you're trying to decode sports, you don't need to play every single game. Just look for the best ones.
Okay, all right. I understand that. Okay, thank you.
All right. Take care, man.
All right, bye.
See you. All right, let's go on to 443.
Hey, Zach. As far as the
Chiefs go, if they were to win out undefeated, if I did my math right, it will, going back to last year, they could finish with 26 straight wins, where Kansas City Chiefs equals 260. I guess you do my pick for the Super Bowl.
That's a very interesting observation. So we'll see what happens. That's something nobody's ever three-peated before, and nobody's had a perfect season and won the Super Bowl. So we'd be in new territory.
And there seems to be a lot of things that are happening for the first time this year. First walk-off grand slam. Oregon might be the first year in the Big Ten to win the Big Ten.
Interesting.
Lots of firsts.
Yeah.
First ever three-peat. And then I saw a big whale trader in France bet $40 million on Trump winning.
40 million, like 40 years ago, Ronald Reagan won re-election, and the whole Butler thing in Pennsylvania was on the 40th parallel. Okay, interesting.
The Harold Ford speech was 34 years ago. On a date numerology of 117.
No, that's not right, because it was 89.
On 11.
It wasn't 34 years ago. It was 35 years ago. It was 89. October 18th, 89 is the day he gave that speech.
That's right. It was a date numerology of 117. Could the old man croak on 11/7?
Again, Scorpio, they did that crazy ritual on that Thursday Night Football paying tribute to Biden. Broncos beat the Saints down bad in New Orleans. The New Orleans Saints still haven't won at home versus the Broncos since Joe Biden's 46th birthday. You guys are going to have to go back and watch that video. It's a lot to explain, but the guy with the big payout who had the same birthday as Biden got the touchdown that night. Rig sports, rig politics. Learn about it. It's lucrative.
Then the only other thing I got is the United States is supposed to test a hypersonic nuclear missile after the election tonight.
That seems symbolic. I'll have to look into that one too. Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You need to go mainstream.
Yeah, I wish we could. It's hard, but appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, we got a gentleman on hold. I just want to remind people about, actually here, I'm going to take the 732 call. We got somebody, Josh in the back room. I'm only going to do one more call, and then Josh, and then I got to go take care of Sweet Lady. She's waiting on me. But let's get the last call, and then I want to go back to what happened in 2016 when Bill and Hillary conceded in purple after the Purple Rain ritual to the chump. So, 732, and then we're hearing from Josh. What's up, 732?
Hey, Zach. Donald Trump was born on 66 state numerology, and Inauguration Day is 66 state numerology, and he's competing against a woman just like he won his first election against a woman. And 66, was it female or woman for 66?
Woman is 66. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my alternate to the 48 stuff and 60 stuff. There's also the 66 on his birthday numerology. And, it's a funny joke because he can only beat women, right?
Yeah. He might even grab Kamala by the pussy. So we'll see how it plays out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's it. Thanks, man.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Let's go out to Joss here. What's up, Joss?
What's up, man? Can you hear me all right?
Loud and clear.
Cool. Yeah, I've been following you for a couple months now. I had a general gematria question. I've always liked numbers, always paid attention to them. And I've noticed so many, I guess synchronicities, they're usually called, just within my own life and, on a day-to-day basis. So I was wondering how you reconcile, the stuff you see on a day-to-day within your own life with the overall story. Because, like, how how can both of these things be in play? Like, I was wondering if you could explain that.
Well, again, there is an organic side to the numbers. In case in point, I mean, I put out a video last night about how Andy Reid was going to pick up his 152nd win on Monday Night Football, put it out for free on the news channel, just like how the Chiefs visited the White House on the 152nd day of the year. Sweet lady and I had to go to the store and do grocery shopping. You'd never believe what the bill for the groceries was. And I just laughed when these things happened. I was like, you got to be kidding me. $152 the grocery bill came out to? And of course, 4 years ago, it probably would have been $80. But again, there's definitely an organic side to the code. And there's a reason that this Kabbalistic belief came about how God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. And it's paid tribute to in Genesis, where God speaks the world into existence over numbered days. And again, Genesis 3:2 mentions the tree of life and knowing good and evil. And in Kabbalah, the tree of life has 3 pillars and 22 paths. A lot of Christians think Kabbalah is completely evil. There is an evil half of Kabbalah known as the Qlippoth, where you study the literally evil and sorcery and spell casting and having influence over people, spells, spelling, English language, spelling to make words, spelling to cast magic. So again, like we're not raised, most of us aren't raised in the occult. We don't understand like what this ancient form of mysticism or sorcery is, but sometimes we might accidentally do it. And I've noticed so many days where I'm super focused on a number, that number will just manifest in my life, just like it did yesterday. And it wasn't intentional, and we weren't counting up the groceries to make sure it was going to add up to $152. It's just the way it worked out. It made me laugh. I just thought, unbelievable. Last video I brought, I talked about 152 from the start of the day to the end of the day, but even the last video I put out. So, and it's just like, well, I could go on and on about stories like this, but even like I always talk about the organic side with my parents and myself. If you type in, what's the coldest day ever recorded? What's the coldest day ever recorded? It'll come up and it'll tell you that the coldest day ever recorded is July 21st, 1983. Now, why is that funny? Do you see how the record temperature that day was negative 89 Celsius? So that's the day that I was born, right? And when I was first trying to figure out if there really was merit to this whole letters and numbers thing, I actually read a numerology book where it taught you how to decode your name. And it said, it just gives you this one cipher, the alphabetic order with numerology. And it said, just look at your own name and look at it in light of your own family. And more often than not, you're going to see like a powerful pattern. So I thought, weird, my full name equals 89. My dad's full name equals 89. My mom's full name does not equal 89, not even her maiden name, but her birthday is the 8th day of the 9th month. So isn't it weird that like my name and my father's name and my mother's birthday all have this 8-9, and then the day I was born, the record temperature negative 89 Celsius. It's interesting because 89 is the 11th Fibonacci number. And the Fibonacci number after that is 144, which is the 12th Fibonacci number, which is also interesting because 144 has a square root of 12. From my dad's birthday, April 18th, to my mom's birthday, September 8th, is 144 days. Again, they didn't plan any of this. And like, they're even still skeptical of all this. They're like, I don't know if this means anything. But it's not just me. It's like there is something about numbers and the way they manifest. And then what's weird too is like, again, just in the base ciphers of the English language, which we fully understood through reading and research, just even the word number itself equals 89. My dad loves numbers. I've always liked numbers. The Bible is numbered. There's 89 chapters in the gospel. The word religion's 89, like King James. Our name really got on the map. Like a lot of people know about me because of the 2016 prediction at the start of the season, why LeBron would win on the real King James's birthday. And then when they were down 3-1, I told people I have confidence that they're coming back to win it on the real King James's birthday. There had to be a game 7 anyway. So again, there is like an organic side. Does it somehow, being aware of this, like show how destiny works? Or again, you can go on and on about this, but the point I also make is you can see the difference between manipulation and the organic side by watching the kind of stuff they do in the media every day. How they fudge numbers, how they adjust things, how they edit things. how retroactively they'll change the dates of people. Like, for example, when Chadwick Boseman died, and initially he was 42, but then it was too obvious because he died on the makeshift Jackie Robinson Day, so they had to shift it to everything online, shifted his date of birth to a year earlier, so all of a sudden he was 43. And again, I mean, that's not organic. That's a manipulation. So again, if you pay careful enough attention, you'll see the difference between manipulation and what just does manifest. Now, does that mean sometimes we might have covered like a mass shooting story and we said, oh, this was another contrived thing, but maybe it was real? I mean, that's an argument. The point I'm making, though, is it's not an accident that they have, suddenly Susan putting out an episode of Donald Trump as the president on May 8th in the middle of the 90s. And then Trump's announcing from the 58-story Trump Tower that he's running for the 58th election as they unfold 58 ritual after 58 ritual in the lead up to that. This isn't organic. This is like the sorcery part where they're putting the number and assigning these people together and making sure that that is the final storyline by the end of the 2016 election, which was the 58th. Am I making sense? Are you following what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I think for me, I sometimes just struggle with finding the line between where the organicness is, because even your own story there with the 89, I mean, that's a lot of different things lining up to make that happen, and yet it's totally organic. So you talk about just the example you just gave with the 58, I can see where that all points to manipulation, but at the same time, like, can the organicness, how deep does it go?
It's deep, no doubt about it. I mean, yeah, I have a lot. If you guys have not read my books, both of my books that I put out there, the last chapters about the organic side. And the reason I did that is because I felt like it's the only way to be fair to the reader. I'm showing about all this manipulation stuff, but I want people to understand there's a reason that this Kabbalistic belief that God created the world with numbers, letters, and words, it came from somewhere, obviously through some kind of observation. And think about it too. If that's the belief in Kabbalah that God created the world with numbers, letters, and words, if you wanted to play God over the world, why wouldn't you use the same system? And if there's real merit and power to it, and there is this godliness quality to it, why would you not use it to further your ways and agenda if there's something real about it? Again, I'd encourage people to read the 7 Hermetic Principles as well. If you read the 7 Hermetic Principles and look into a little bit about Kabbalah, again, the 7 Hermetic Principles are really short and quick to read, but you can think about them for the rest of your life because it's profound. But again, one of those things is that you're either the person doing the manipulating or you're the person being manipulated. And again, you see that a lot of people seemingly are under some kind of spell where they just don't want to see through the obvious and they're going along with all these evil agendas. And a part of me does wonder how much this ritualism that they do every day does create the spell that just makes everybody march in line. So that's my answer.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Thank you for that explanation. That was exactly what I wanted to know, and yeah, appreciate the honesty there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I don't know everything, right? I wasn't raised in the occult. I'm on the outside looking in. When I was 18, 9/11 happened, and I said, wait a minute, a national emergency on 911, all these 11s, flight AA11, New York, the 11th state. A lot of people put out a lot of great stuff online in the early days of the infancy of the internet, including that day happened 11 years to the day of George H.W. Bush's speech about a new world order while his son's the sitting president. And I mean, not forever, but from 2001 until I found Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages in 2013, I was trying to figure out what was up with all the number rituals I saw. I saw the number rituals going on, but I didn't understand why. And then again, you find the right piece of knowledge and you say, this is why they do this. This is the Cabal. I see, okay, the Cabal comes from Kabbalah. They're using this Kabbalistic code. So that's the answer to the question. Anything else, friend? I think they got it all in there. My mouse, I'm on one of these wireless mouses, and I just got the notification that it died. So I'm trying to charge it up real quick so I can actually move the thing around. Hold on. Somebody else wanted to call in the chat. Legend. And doesn't look like they called in. All right, we got Elohim, speaking of the Old Testament, who wants to say something before we get out of here. What's up, Elohim?
How you doing, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, what if the God that you keep mentioning, that created the world with letters and words and numbers? What if that God that they are referring to is Lucifer?
Well, in the Christian story, Lucifer's the fallen angel, right? He used to be one of the good guys, and then he wanted the power too much. So again, I mean, that's a Christian way of understanding the world. I don't think the Kabbalistic way of understanding the world's that far off, that there's a creator and it embodies all things, good and evil. Just like within all of us, we are capable of good and evil. And if the people at the top are poisoning the well and leading people more astray and to, go more for the evil part of our nature, I think that's what we see manifesting in the world. And again, I mean, people even know, they know that when they go and vote, they've been saying the whole thing for all of our lifetimes. Well, I'm picking the lesser of two evils. It's like, well, how long do we have to keep settling for voting for the lesser of two evils? Why are we even doing this? So it's like we're being made to participate in evil. And again, you see how that plays out in society. You see that you have this like fallen state of people where the values are not where they should be, and people aren't treating each other right. And there's more and more homeless people on the street, more and more people dying from drug overdoses, and more people on antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds. And just like all the signs that are there in humanity are like, yeah, whatever's going on in this world, we're getting taken further and further the wrong way. And here you are being made to choose between these two supposed leaders of the land, where one's the proud pussy grabber and the other one sucked their way to the top. And I mean, those aren't the qualities I want in any kind of leader. So,
Man, I'm not having fun in this country, and I live here now, but I'm still like an outsider looking in. Even just living in the country, like it's just like this country is just weird. Like they just do weird shit in this country, man. But yeah, just going back to the letters and numbers thing. Yeah, what if the God that they're referring to is Lucifer? Because he's the one that he's the one that disguised himself as Christ. So
well, again, I'll remind Marilyn Manson, who was a member of the Church of Satan. If you guys don't know this, go back to 2016. Marilyn Manson put out the song Say 10, and it's spelled S-A-Y with the number 10, and it has a Trump assassination in the music video. But look at this. If you write out Satan and if you write out God, look at the overlap. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, God is 55 and 10. And remember, 55 is the 10th triangular number, which means if you add 1 through 10 together, it equals 55. And 55 is also the 10th Fibonacci number. And the Fibonacci sequence is supposed to be the mathematical signature of God in creation. If you don't know about the Fibonacci sequence, look it up. But notice when you run the alphabetic order forward, Satan is 55, and with numerology, it's 10. And the Marilyn Manson song, Say 10, and he's 55 years old right now. And again, Trump assassination, all this shooting stuff while he's been 55, that's how his music video was. The highest degree of the Church of Satan's mega. But anyway, the lyrics are, when you say God, I say 10. And earlier we had the 252 caller phoning in saying about how annoyed he gets about all these athletes who are in on the rigging, thanking God after the games, after they just participated in a rigged script and they know it. He said he gets really annoyed listening to them talk about God. Again, God is not the same thing to everybody. And I don't know if there's just one God or there's multiple gods. I do think that there is a creator, and I don't know if people get angry about this stuff. It's like, we don't know at the end of the day everything about spirituality and the afterlife. I just think the one thing that's evident is we're supposed to be good people, honest people, pursue truth, pursue a life of service, helping others. I think like inside, whatever made us, we get that good feeling when we do right. And when we do wrong, we know that it was wrong. Sometimes that's what we have to do to save our own ass or feed ourselves for the day, but we still know it was wrong, and we wish we didn't have to do that unless we're sociopathic. Again, that's why I say God doesn't write books, but Creator made the world and made us the way we are, where we have an internal regulating system. And unless we're put in like some awful environment, we don't want to do wrong. But again, it does seem obvious that the power of this world, the power structure of this world, the God they worship is whatever evil is. If you want to call it Lucifer, Satan, all the other names for it. And ultimately, I think why that is because we know how it is. Imagine you have an honest man running against a good man. the honest man can lose. Oh, did I say honest man versus good man? That's not what I meant to say. An honest man versus a non-honest man. The way the honest man can end up losing to the non-honest man is if the non-honest man does something that's just below the belt, like kills them or creates some horrible lie campaign and destroys the good man with a plethora of lies. Like the same type of stuff we see in politics. And again, we even get the police, the band making the song, Murder by Numbers, where killing's the sport of the elected. Again, with evil tactics, you can win. You can kill your enemies. You can destroy them with lies. And that's why I almost feel like there's more power in the world in evil than there is in good. Sometimes I like to think that's wrong, that if everybody was just good, that evil wouldn't win. But again, this is why all the spiritualities also teach you that you shouldn't do these things. Lies is one of them. Murder is another one of them. And again, though, you use those tactics, you can climb your way to the top. And
Zach, do you believe this was once paradise and I guess Lucifer turned it into hell? Because this is hell. Like we're in hell. Like people wake up every day and go to a job. Like that's hell, So do you believe obviously we don't know, but do you believe that this was once like paradise, like Earth was once paradise, and Lucifer just came along and just.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Like you can still go to places on Earth and feel that you're in paradise. You can be in a beautiful, serene place in nature, just thinking like, man, what an amazing creation. Like the birds are singing in the background. It's a beautiful scene. So again, the world is dualistic. There's always been good and bad. And imagine, like it could have been this scene long ago. You could have been out enjoying the most beautiful spot in nature, just thinking like, what a great paradise. And then here comes a 20-foot cat, saber-tooth tiger, whatever, who's hungry for a meal. And all of a sudden it's not paradise. And all of a sudden you're a meal because you're the prey.
Let me ask you something, Zach. Let me ask you something. So you believe we're like you and me, we're like human beings, right? We're creatures, right?
Right. We're human beings, right?
Correct. Okay. So do you believe that there are other people like us in this earth?
What do you mean like us?
Like us. Like they have the same human
like they look like you and think like you?
Yeah, like they have the same human feature as us, but they don't look like us.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of us, right? They say there's 8 billion people on Earth, so there's going to be people that are very close to us.
No, but I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Like we're like you and I are human beings, right? What I'm saying is, do you believe that there's other type of beings here? If that makes sense.
Oh, like they live. Like when you get the glasses, you can see they look like us, but they're different.
Correct. Because
like they're Anunnaki and we're not. That's possible. That's possible. That could be the ruling class, honestly, at the end of the day. Again, Roddy, if you guys have not seen They Live, the hokiest movie with one of the most relevant messages ever. Again, that movie came out 201 days after Roddy Piper's birthday. He tweeted on the Jesuit order's anniversary of being recognized by Rome that the movie's a documentary, and then he ended up dying prematurely on the anniversary of Ignatius Loyola's death, the founder of the Jesuits. Whatever the Jesuits are, is there something that's not human that's behind them that allows them to do these rituals as crazy and as exact and as far out and predetermined and planned as they are? I mean, possibly. The world is a spiritual place, in my opinion. And are there things here? Again, what's it say in the Old Testament? It says that mankind was made in the image of the gods, which is plural. Your name, Elohim, is, if you look at what that means, it means plural for gods. And, you look at the Old Testament, I mean, in Genesis 6:6, God's getting pretty wicked. He's fed up with humanity, so he's going to wipe them all out with a flood. I mean, is that not evil in a way, or was he justified because he had to start over because creation gotten so bad? Again, I'll never know the answers to all these questions, and I doubt any human being ever will. But one can only wonder and continue to search for what is the ultimate truth. Is it something like they live? Maybe.
Okay, Zach, I posted a YouTube link here in the chat right here. It's a like a minute video of they're talking about this Tom Brady mask, super realistic mask. I was wondering if you can put on the screen for the audience and you have a look at it. But the broadcaster said something very interesting in the video, and at the end he says basically the guy asks him if these masks are available to the public, and he says something like no, these type of masks are not available to the public. But anyways, I want you to see it just so you can see how realistic that Tom Brady mask was. Just
hold on, I put it up in the background. I've seen that before. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It is wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I was just acknowledging that is because I don't know, this is Hollywood, at the end of the day. I mean, we grew up watching shows and TV shows and movies like Medea, and we've seen Martin sat there and play different characters in front of our faces with prosthetics and shit like that. I'm just saying, like this is Hollywood, I just believe that whoever is in control of this whole shebang, I don't think that they're human. I just believe that they're either using some type of prosthetics and shit like what I just showed in that video to disguise themselves as, like, for example, John Cena.
Yeah, remember the ritual they did with John Cena?
Yeah, there is a video of John Cena like in public. Some guy, like, I guess he like ran into him in public or something. But like he's recording John Cena, and like if you look at John Cena's like body in a video, like his veins and stuff just look so fake, Yeah, so I don't know if they're using some type of bodysuit on some of these celebrities, and like for example, like Dwayne Johnson, like his veins and muscles and stuff look so fake, It looks very like Hollywood prosthetic-ish, So yeah, so yeah, I don't believe I do believe the people ruling over us is some type of Nephilims. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the Nephilims. And something tells me it probably is the Nephilims. So because the Nephilims were able to talk like us, Zach, and they were like warlocks, and who's to say that they were not more advanced than us, because the people that do rule over us are basically almost human expert at human psychology, because all of it is human psychology, all of these are experiments they run on us to study us. It's almost like they are obsessed with us, whoever these people are. They are obsessed with humans. They constantly run these experiments on us. And it just baffles me that everybody just go day by day, just going along with it. Like nobody sits there and asks themselves like where are we? Like what is this world that we're in? Nobody questions anything. People just go along with it. That's the scary part. It's like people are just going along with it, So but yeah, the people ruling over us are geniuses, man. I mean, it's just crazy the stuff they do with just the rituals you document every day,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fred, I got to hop off though. Sweet Letty is waiting for me, and I went overboard on this one, but appreciate the
Yep.
I don't think you're far off from the truth. All right, man. Appreciate it. Just since he brought up John Cena, even just things like this, you guys all remember his naked stunt at the Oscars. Look at it. Look how perfect it was. It was on the 70th day of the year, right? The year Oppenheimer won. But you see how John Cena was 46 at the time, and this was at the Academy Awards, which equals 46. It was exactly 46 weeks after his 46th birthday that he did this, and it paid tribute to what happened at the 46th Academy Awards. Again, this kind of stuff goes on every day. Some of this stuff's trivial and doesn't matter, but when you learn this Kabbalistic code of letters and numbers, you see that they're doing this stuff every day. And you got Jimmy Kimmel next to him, who's mocked Gematria multiple times on his show, where he broadcasts from the Masonic Temple. And again, Masonry, secret society based in Kabbalah, they don't necessarily want people to be aware of their secrets. So going on and making fun of something that they're actually invested in is actually a strategy that makes sense when they know that the masses will be like, oh, yeah, see, that's stupid. It must have been a coincidence that they did it 46 weeks after John Cena's 46th birthday. And again, they tell you right at the beginning, Cena 46 at the 46th Academies. They don't even expect people to make the connection. They expect them to say, oh, that must be a coincidence. Now, here's what I want to close out with, just to remind something else that we've been talking about for years. When Hillary conceded to Trump in 2016, I want you to see all of this, how perfect the ritual was. When Hillary conceded, 88% of the popular vote was what was supposedly in. And they've been doing 88 stuff with Trump, well, really since 1988, when Oprah asked Trump if he would want to run for president someday. Again, that was in 1988 on April 25th, which is typically the 115th day of the year, but the 116th day in a leap year. Trump took office with the 115th and 116th Congress. This year, the election on November 5th. It might not be called till tomorrow, November 6th, 115, 116. But 88% of the vote was in. Trump's 88. You can see that Hillary had 218 electoral votes at the time, and Trump had 248. Right now, the country is 248 years old, and so is the Illuminati. 1776 to 2024, it's 248. Again, Trump has that 88 connection and the 47, like he was in the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel back in 2017 on selection night. Him and Hillary both in New York. Donald Trump, the 48 piece. But look at how President Donald Trump is 248. Again, the electoral votes, when it was called for him, he ended up getting more. But when it was called, he was at 248 to 218. Trump, he also has that 218 connection in the cipher where capital letters matter. We've been talking about this for years with Trump, and then eventually he had the presidential text alert that went out at 218. Both of the presidential text alerts that have now gone out in history both went out at 218 Eastern time. The second one just went out recently while Biden was president. But again, when Trump had the mugshot in Atlanta, it was on the 24th day of the 8th month, which was Vince McMahon's birthday. Mr. Wrestling, like how the Omega beating Kamala match was days after Trump's 60th birthday. Now here we are with the 60th election. But yeah, these things aren't an accident. And you just watch tonight, you're going to see the number rituals unfold because they do every day. I can say with complete confidence that there'll be nonstop number rituals if you're paying attention and knowing what you're looking at. Just like how, they got to tell you it's in a dead heat in Pennsylvania at 48% all. Trump's trying to become Grover Cleveland as the Cleveland Cavaliers are off to their best start in 48 years. As the game goes to overtime last night on Monday Night Football, where the star from White House, Texas wins 48 days after his birthday, after his mom endorses Trump before the game, but it went to overtime with 48 points, 24 all for the 24 election. Again, scripted sports, scripted politics, ritualism all along the way, long scripts unfolding. Trump's Mr. 88. It's 8 years since he won in 2016, trying to get 8 years in office. Again, we'll see the way it unfolds. And it would be something if Trump did win and then Biden didn't finish his term and Kamala became number 47 in a short term where Trump eventually becomes number 48 with the first President's Day next year on the 48th day of the year. Don't kid yourself. Gerald Ford did say the first female president will not be elected. She will become president when an old man dies and there's a female vice president. Again, he said it on October 18th, 1989. He said at the Herbert Hoover Library, who died at age 88. Herbert Hoover died at 88. Again, Herbert Hoover died the same day that Kamala Harris was born. October 20th, 1964. The same year Trump's... I misspoke. I misspoke about Hoover. He wasn't 88. Okay, I take that back. I was wrong about that. But he did die October 20th, 64, the same exact day that Kamala Harris was born. Same birthday as Snoop Dogg, who's carrying the torch at the Olympics right after the torch gets passed. Again, these are major rituals. These people are born for it. If you don't know the Trump Serta mattress ad, maybe we should close out with that, actually. We haven't played this one for years. Serta, Trump, sheep. Let's see. Here we go. Room 9. Room 9 as they sync up NFL Week 9 with... All right, here, let me get this up here. Let's close out with this. I got to wrap this thing up. And even this ad's got more likes than any video I can put out these days. A Serta mattress Trump ad's got more likes than my videos. Sad. All right, hold on. I got to adjust the audio settings real quick. Listen to Trump talk about being born for the job. Listen to talk about sheep. Watch him talk to sheep 11 and 9. This came out years before he won the election in 2016, called on November 9th, and now the winner of this election takes office with the 119th Congress. Serta mattresses, just watch. Here we go.
So what do you think of my Trump Home mattress collection by Serta? Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Oh, they'll never count sheep again.
Listen, why don't you come work for me?
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
Welcome to Room 9.
Looking good, number 9, looking good.
Where's your dignity?
Where's your dignity? Like, how does that line even fit into a mattress ad? But notice he's wearing the same suit and tie that he wore for Selection Night in 2016, where it was called for him on November 9th, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Again, Trump cards or tarot cards. The hit show on Netflix was House of Cards, where the president's name was Francis Underwood, where Francis equals 119 like Underwood. And now the winner will take office with the 119th Congress. Again, tarot cards has that 119. And Gematria, and you might recall September 11th, another 11/9 date or 9/11. Trump was part of it that day. They interviewed him, and he introduced conspiracy theories that day, and he talked about how he was worried about his insurance firm up on floor 102. That's the old Art of War code, like how the feds simulated 9/11 102 days before it happened, June 1st, 2001, with Operation Amalgam Virgo, where Al-Qaeda launches cruise missiles. It's weird how cruise missiles have huge explosions, like what happened at the World Trade Center. And remember, the first footage of a plane hitting the tower, they had to cut it to black because the plane flew all the way through the building, showing that it was a digital image. But planes also don't explode like that, or, you know, I didn't want to get into it. But anyway, Trump was part of that day, called out the key number, old 102, Art of War code. Remember, the only reason we know about Art of War is because of the Jesuit priest Father Amia, who published the book in 1773 and credited it to somebody that there's no proof ever existed, Sun Tzu, when the Jesuit order's logo is the sun. But yeah, sheep, counting sheep, they'll never count sheep again. Something you were born to do, where's your dignity? And in 2016, he came out and said he was the proud pussy grabber. It's like, I don't even know how you vote for somebody like that. Oh, the guy admits he gropes women. Classy. And that was after months of him campaigning and talking about how much he wanted to smash his daughter. Where can I sign up? Where can I cast my vote? And the resume is only built since then. Ex-wife down the stairs in the big Jesuit ritual 45 years after their marriage, and on and on and on. This is brother on the Jesuit order's birthday, R.I.P. Sister, who used to be a lawyer for Reagan, R.I.P. Isn't it funny how Trump's uncle audited Tesla's apartment after he died? If you don't know that, look it up. Trump's uncle was a Fed at the FBI. He did the audit of Tesla's apartment, and now Trump and Elon Musk, who was declared the richest man in the world on the 78th death anniversary of Tesla, for the first time ever. Look it up. It was January 7th, 2021, 78th anniversary. Tesla 78, Jesuit 78. Now he's I'm Dark Mega 78. I'd like to be in a debate with Elon Musk. People will think I'm the smartest guy in the world. I don't stutter and sound like a moron when I talk. And somehow I don't run a rocket company or a car company, but I bust my ass all day and I don't have time to play video games at night on Twitter like he does. playing the devil game. I mean, it's just anyway. Anyway, hey, shout out to Space Invader. I forgot about that one. Yeah, that whole thing was synced up with Trump too, and the flag. Trump born on the same day as the flag. Shout out to Open Up. Exactly. Shout out to Paula the Kitchen Witch. Yeah, I might have to switch over to Gematria. We might finally get the subs. Connect with my fellow male Americans. I don't know what they're putting in those pokey-dokes, but everybody's getting a lot more effeminate. Golden ID codes, always with $1 million observations. Trump born on Flag Day. PA first state to celebrate Flag Day. Could become number 48 when there was 48 stars on the flag for 48 years. You know what? You just reminded me about how that town that's right next to Butler is named after Grover Cleveland. 84, Pennsylvania. And Trump went back to Butler 84 days after the supposed shooting. Thank you, Smeed20. And No Name said, watching live from the Jesuit province of Canada. And remember, Trudeau's a Jesuit, just like his father. And they've done all kinds of Jesuit rituals up there. And even back when Trump was in office, he was doing rituals with Trudeau with trade deals. Covering that years ago. This election has 2000 vibes. Interesting. Chet said, what do I know about the Montana senator race? I'll take a look. I can't do it right now because Sweet Lady's waiting on me. But I can take I might come back on here tonight and just, go over the news and just call things out in real time. It depends on Sweet Lady. She's on the verge of popping out our first little one. And thank you to people who've sent stuff. You guys don't need to send me any more stuff in my P.O. box to the babies. I've asked you guys not to, but you guys are too generous. I got so many baby clothes. My sweet little baby's going to have way more clothes than daddy does. You guys have done somebody just sent some nice little slippers for a little one, some socks, some nice little beanie hats for the baby. Trust me, the baby's good to go. Thank you very much to all the generous people out there who are just doing that without me ever even asking. If you guys ever do want to send something to me, I do have a P.O. box. You guys, for all of you guys who send me long handwritten decodes to the P.O. box, I appreciate the effort, but trust me, I don't even have enough time to keep up with all the decodes I want to do myself in a day. So people's handwritten decodes and asking me to do more on it, I appreciate it, but I mean, there just aren't enough hours in a day, and once the little one's here, there's going to be even less hours, so I'm not saying you're wasting your time. It's just you paid money for the postage and you put a lot into writing it down. It would be better if you just put the decode out into the world for other people to find, is what I'm saying. So thank you, though. But yeah, I'll try and look into old Montana. Montana's got that 24 connection, so it could be very interesting what they do in Montana in 2024. Montana's 24 in Gematria. That's why they synced up the 2024 Super Bowl with Joe Montana, number 19. First team to go back-to-back in 19 years. Went to overtime 19-19. McCole Hardman with the game winner for the 19th career touchdown. While Montana was 67, the 19th prime when Kansas City equals 67. All right, Sweet Lady's texting. You know what's funny? She texts me right now. Are we done yet? It's 2:47 out here on the West Coast. I almost feel like symbolically I just need to wait till it's 2:48 since that's how old the country is, and that's probably going to end up being the number of the night. But here, let me say this real quick. I wanted to put my Patreon page. Here's what I'm going to do for all of you guys. Somebody asked where they can get my books. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to make it easy to download my ebooks for free. If you guys want to download my ebooks for free, patreon.com/Zachary K. Hubbard. In 2 minutes, it should be the top post on there. You can just download the ebooks for free. If you don't have a PDF reader, just get that on your phone or your computer. Well, it's probably on your computer already, but those are free to download PDF. As long as you have a PDF reader, you'll be able to read the ebooks. So I'm just going to post them there. It'll be the top post. If you're watching this 24 hours from now, 48 hours from now, it's going to get buried because every time I do a post, it goes down, but you just have to scroll down a little bit. So it'll be dated November 5th, 2024, the date of the election. Both the ebooks for free. There's a chapter in my first book, Letters and Numbers, on rigged selections. And I talk about it in my other book too. I mean, it's something we cover all the time, but I'm going to wrap it up right now. 2:48 out here on the West Coast. Perfect timing. Check the Patreon in 2 minutes. It'll be there. Thank you again, everyone who's liking the share. If you feel like subbing, we put out content every day. You might get unsubscribed, though, because that's how Google keeps my numbers small. And if you want to support the work for real, Patreon, you can pledge there. But I'm making the books free. You just got to go to the page. You'll be able to download them. Till next time, everybody. Thank you, CBD. I see that. Richard Hart. All right, on it.